Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
They're back.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Nah, nah, nah. A Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 Proof, even if the Bears win or lose. A Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 Proof, no matter if the Bears win or lose. Yo, first, the smartest man, no tweets he's ever missing. Impossible, the mission, call out frauds with precision. A Bears 100 Proof, he faces number one adorer. Slaying dumb tweets, cross-eyed like Contora.
Never wonder back down, shouldn't be calling a fraud. Our dumbest tweets of the week, the mailman goes all out.
Cheers, Bears fans. The fire Puerto Rican barkeeping for Chicagoland. He's the godfather, the one, the real producer. Always keeping the show together with the voice that will seduce us. Biscuit now the Firefox, the old timer never stops. IPAs, drafts, malts, crafts, barkeep takes the shots. Barflies appreciated worldwide. Canada, Scotland, England, Brazil, Mexico, and Dubai. Dr. Phil is the guy, the one to realize that the barroom needed a show with an endless shoot supply. Go big coat fought the narrative on color, brought the Jason, get paid for Mitchell, now I'm the usher.
Standing up for the truth, 100 Proof with the guys. Almost burned off the show, but I came back for the barflies. Flies. Fuck a fraud and his keyboard Twitter tough guys surround us. Raining truth on the Bears worldwide barflies astound us. This is the number one pod, that's the reality of the truth. And if you don't know us by now, Bears 100 Proof. A Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 Proof, even if the Bears win or lose. A Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 Proof, 100 no matter if the Bears win or lose.
The NFC North 2018 Division Champions.
They're the ones that fight for truth. Yo. Every week on 100 Proof, even if the Bears win or lose. MC for a Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 Proof, no matter if the Bears win or lose.
And they win the NFC North.
Yeah. You know you got to feel it. You got to feel it.
Cheers, Bears fans! This is Bears 100 Proof, a special live Bears 100 Proof starting here at halftime of the Bears-Titans game, the final preseason game of the year before the 2019 regular season starts. My name is Aldo Gandia. I serve the drinks here, but don't you worry, the stars of our show are here. They are, of course, Shane, the smartest man in the barroom, Marsall, and draft Dr. Philatoshin. You know, lots of people in the media really hate this final preseason game, but we here at the barroom love it. There are so many storylines to talk about, so many players fighting for their lives, and I wish other people in the media had the same kind of respect for what's going on in this final preseason game like we do. Yes, we're anxious to get the season started, and I'm anxious to hear from both Phil and Shane about the first half. And let's get to that now. I'm going to start with Draft Dr. Phil. What are your thoughts of the first half before we bring Shane in here? You look shocked.
This is 2 weeks in a row.
It's because you're not making a 53, by the way. You're just getting it out of the way.
Bring your playbook to the office, Phil.
I'm feeling good tonight. The season's about to kick off. You're seeing some competent football out there by the Chicago Bears, people playing for their careers and lives and putting it on the line. So you love to see that, and you love to see this finally coming to an end. But I'm excited to see some of these young players. Since I was a kid, taping it on VHS, any game that was on, I actually had a deal with the local barkeeper down in New Haven. He had those giant dishes on the top of it, and I would pay him $100 and he would tape the Bears preseason games for
Really?
me so I could see them. That's how crazy I was about it, because I wanted to see the young kids. So there was no NFL Network back then, Aldo. They thought it was crazy. There could be are you kidding? A channel devoted to football? What are you, nuts?
Really?
That's what they said. Now, look where it is, and the craving and addiction that we all have for it. This is exciting. It's exciting for the 100th season, and a team that's coming off, the champions of the North, and you're seeing players lay it out there tonight.
Shane, speaking of laying it out, why don't you lay out for us your thoughts about the first half?
It's the Jesper Horsted Invitational, right?
Yeah. How about
Man, I was hoping that it wasn't going to turn into the Eddie Pinheiro swan song. I'm not sure I've seen a shank like that in quite some time, but it's for three degenerates like we are, like you said, Aldo, it's you want to get this over, but you still want to see some of these young guys, bottom of the roster guys, go out there and they may not earn their way onto the roster, but they can earn their way onto a practice squad. So, there's a lot of that. Tyler Bray's made some good throws tonight, which is surprised me a little bit. He's been off on some, but that's expected. But he's thrown some nice balls. And Jasper Horsted, man, he's solidifying himself onto that practice squad as far as I'm concerned.
Horsted, Dax Raymond, and Ian Bunting have all had good camps, and they're all guys, they're not really ready for the NFL, ready to contribute at a high level. But these guys all deserve the opportunity to be on the practice squad and be developmental players, because in a year or two, these guys could be really productive NFL players. I think this is going to be a really tough choice. Horsted, missed a good portion of the first half of preseason with an injury, and I think that's going to hurt him. Ian Bunting is probably the best blocker of those three, and if Bradley Saul is going to make the team, then Bunting probably is going to be on the outside looking in. And Dax Raymond has just so much upside, and so this is a really tough decision for the decision makers with the Bears. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think Horsted, Shane just said he thinks Horsted's worked his way onto the roster. Phil, do you agree with that?
Onto the practice squad.
I'm sorry, onto the practice squad, correct.
Yeah.
No, you both hit it. I mean, I wrote it down. I'm getting texts from people I love about this kid too. My wife's uncle is a Princeton grad.
Wow.
So he follows this kid closely and has been for years. Last week I mentioned him, Aldo. I'm like, this kid has receiver skills, and you were pointing it out that that's what he played in college. He's trying to make the switch not only to a higher level of football, but also a different position. So it says a lot about that kid. But you see what he does in focusing in on him. One-on-one matchups with this kid, he wins. We hear a lot about Riley Ridley, and unfortunately, to Shane's point last week that he made, you wanted to see him all game long just to get the work. This kid, Horsted, is winning in the air. And sometimes, guys, when you see that as a scout, that's hard, area to coach up. Those guys are called playmakers. So if you could find one, that kind of, you get leery about, should we keep this kid rostered or do we put him on the practice squad? Because he's almost been hidden in regards to the offseason because of his injury. Now, flashing back, Aldo and Greg Braggs went to a softball game, and Aldo's report right back to me was in chorus with Greg calling me on the phone earlier, talking to me about one guy for 45 minutes. And it was this kid saying he's probably the best athlete out there on the softball field. I go, are you kidding me? No, seriously. He's that agile and athletic and speedy. And now fast forward here to the last game, this kid is what Shane said. Normally I would say 100%, but you see guys winning jump balls and adjusting their body in the air. You see the catch, he focuses in on the football after it's tipped. Like he makes a great play on it, but then it's like bobbled because he's contorting his body backwards. And I'll definitely put this play up on the Tape Never Lies next week. And then he pulls it in because guess what, Shane? His eyes are on the football. And that is the difference. Those guys, it's hard to find. I know we're talking a lot about this kid, but well worthy. I know the broadcast is, making ice cream sundaes at grandma's for this guy. So,
hey, speaking of tight ends, real quick, Jace Sternberger just carted off the field.
Oh no! Big loss for the Packers. Oh my goodness. We've complained about injuries in the past before Nagy got here, but the Packers year after year they seem to suffer some big injuries, and that injury to that backup tight end to Graham, who is necessary because I think Graham is a shadow of the player he used to be. If that's a long-term injury for them, a season-ending injury, that's going to be huge. Holy cow!
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Man,
we needed that breaking news drop for that one because that is,
There's somebody in the chat room named Packers man.
Yeah, that was a kid that we had, on our board for possibly, going in round 3 to Chicago.
That was Shane's guy.
That's right.
Shane's like, Phil, what do you think of this guy? I go,
that wasn't mine. That was Cars. Cars was the huge. I like Sternberger. Right. Cars was the huge Sternberger guy.
Okay,
that's right.
Yeah, Cars, big time.
But I know you liked him too.
Yeah,
but I was focused in on pass rushers, and we could transition there again because this kid Waters just continues to do what like a Dwight Freeney does at that size, just have the natural innate instincts to know how to rush and finish, just finish. So I have Waters making the final 53, and it was very telling tonight that the guy that I was, he looks like he's high as hell. I sent a picture to Shane. He looks like he's out of it. Aaron Lynch. Is he focused and ready to be a part of this team? This guy, Pagano, Aldo, loves to get after the quarterback. Yep. If Lynch is playing in the final preseason game when all of the other ones are, that's a freaking message right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big story that nobody's probably talking about, Shane.
Oh, I totally agree. You're overly cautious with injuries on this roster, and to have a veteran that's been sitting out, and let's be totally honest, his work ethic and everything has been in question. Now, I think it was Aldo that brought it up that he's a Vic Fangio guy. Is he a Chuck Pagano guy? And I think it's a real good question because you see some of these young kids. I mean, Isaiah Irving hasn't flashed as much as I wanted to see, but he has shown some flashes, and then Waters has shown exactly what I wanted to see out of a kid stepping up his game. So Aaron Lynch, to me, is squarely on the bubble. He had 2 really good snaps in a row, one that he almost picked off, and then the next one he should have had the sack, but the guy spun out of it a little bit. But he's got to show out for sure, because to me he looks completely out of shape just walking on the field or walking off the field.
Oh my God. Show Aldo the picture or tweet it out of him on the ChicagoBears.com. I was going through it. We got 2 classics. Adam Shaheen looks like the evil Disney, what was the dude in the cartoon version of Aladdin? He looks like Jafar. He's the white Jafar, if you look at it. And then this dude, Aaron Lynch, I mean, when picture day is at as an NFL player.
Exactly.
But when you look at Aaron Lynch, he looks like he was out smoking reefer with Aldo.
He was. I mean, there's no doubt about it in the picture.
Hungover. He was drinking with Bobby and Nikki at the freaking local pub down the street. That's
Ryan,
this guy.
Ryan D'Onofrio was asking, "Are you sure the name is Jafar? Isn't that Jafar? Yeah, isn't that from a different movie? I don't know." But
Aladdin's Jafar.
okay,
right?
Well, you would know better than me. The second half has started here, and by NFL rules, we are not allowed to do play-by-play. So I would just say that the kickoff was to the goal line, and Tolliver with a nice tackle on the special teams, and the Titans have been penalized, and so they're going to begin back inside their own 20. We'll give you a little bit play-by-play, but not break any of the rules. And you know, you were talking about Waters, and you brought up the name Isaiah Irving, Shane. And so one of the big decisions that this team has to make is to make sure that the roster is a win-now roster. And, yeah, you have to have young players. You have to have developmental players and so forth. And so you'd hate to put somebody on the waiver wire that you could potentially lose to another team. But this is a win-now year. And so if Waters is going to help you win now, and you have to sacrifice one of the young guys that you've been developing and so forth, I'm all for, keep the 5-year veteran Waters, and let's go win a Super Bowl this year. You guys with me on that?
Yeah, I am
totally
100%. Because I think we need pass rushers. And that was my biggest concern going into the draft, is pass rush. I wanted the kid from Michigan bad in the third.
Yeah,
he went to
I'll let you in on a little secret, just to your point, Aldo. That's why I have Kevin Pierre-Louis making this roster.
You think so, huh?
I have Pierre-Louis on the roster, too.
Yeah, and I have my boy Josh Woods not on the 53.
Really?
Josh Woods not on the 53, too.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Man. Well,
Did you do your 53 homework, sir?
And just as you say that, Josh Woods gets his hand on a pass deflected, almost came up with a cool interception. So Josh, a friend of the bar room, is not happy that you guys don't have him on the 53, and so he's going to show you guys in the second half that he means business.
I fully expect to get a text later tonight.
Exactly. The chat room is alive with lots of action. Packers man is here in the chat room, and he says that the best Bears roster in decades. If it wasn't for Bortles of the North being your quarterback, you might have an amazing run in front of
that
you.
PJ? Is that your son-in-law?
I don't think so.
He must really love his team if he's in Chicago Bears chat room while the Packers.
Yeah, what's going on with the Packers besides like injuries to these guys? Let me take a look at the scoreboard here because they are playing tonight, and so.
I mean, you gotta love the young talent, the young effort. I mean, ref, that's a hold if I ever saw one in my life.
Thank you.
Left tackle. My God, he's holding Waters. He can't even move. He tackled him, and they get a big run there. I'm way behind, so my play-by-play doesn't count.
Green Bay is ahead of Kansas City in the beginning of the third quarter by 10 points, 20-10. So they've got something cooking over there with the Chiefs starting Kyle Schumer at quarterback and the Packers starting Deshaun Kaiser, Shane's guy, who was 7 of 12 for 59 yards, a touchdown, and an interception for Kaiser. What do you think about Kaiser, Shane? You think this guy's going to make it? And some people in Green Bay are saying Tim Boyle is going to beat him out for the job.
Yeah, you got to. Wow. It goes back to I'm not a big Brian Kelly fan at all, but he kind of hit the nail on the head when it came to Kaiser. The kid's got all the talent in the world, but does he have it upstairs? You know what I mean? And that's usually when you see these guys go to the NFL, they'll get the well wishes from their head coach. Well, Kaiser did not get the well wish wishes from his head coach because he said he's not ready and he shouldn't go, but he went anyway. And that's, we don't have access to that. And I mean, it's totally on me. I was a huge Deshaun Kaiser fan.
We don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
I hated to see him go to Cleveland initially, and I had some hope for him going to Green Bay in a no pressure situation with Aaron Rodgers there, but he just doesn't seem to be making the steps that he needs to. I mean, he's still a very young guy, but I'll tell you what, I'd take him on this roster as my number 3 over Tyler Bray. I wish I was watching Deshaun Kaiser right now playing.
Really?
But over Tyler Bray? Oh yeah, absolutely.
We don't give a fuck.
I thought we were going to be talking about the quarterback controversy in Chicago, Chase Daniel
Bray.
and Tyler Bray.
Yeah.
Josh Woods made another nice play, tackle for a loss in the backfield. And
but that, it just goes to Aldo's point, though. You're going to see a lot of like the thing with Jesper Horsted making these plays. A lot of you see that so often. I don't think that there's any way that he works his way onto the 53. And inside linebacker on this team is such a deep unit. I can't see them giving a boon away.
Let's go start there.
Yeah.
Aldo, because let's all talk about our inside backers here. Because I have my list of 53. We are going to play We Are the GM.
Ooh, I like that game.
And
when I initially made my list, I did it what I thought the Bears were going to do.
Yeah,
so
that's dumb. Because fuck.
Well, then that means you don't
what
have
Shane wants to do, and then compare it to what.
Who's your backup quarterback then on your?
Well, let's wait for that because.
Well, who is it though? There's only one choice.
Oh, it's Chase Daniel.
Well, so that's who you would keep.
That's who I was going to keep.
Okay. That's dumb. That's dumb. I'm the GM.
Right. This is my 53. We're going to.
And I know you wouldn't keep Chase Daniel as your number 2.
Yes, I would. At this point, unless I'm looking at the waiver wire, then I might claim.
Well, you're a GM. You should. You should look at the waiver wire.
Oh, I'm comfortable, and this is why. You want to talk? All right, we'll fucking start with backup quarterback then. Tonight, Bray's going up against a secondary of players that probably aren't going to be in the league. I never say the bag groceries because I think players can improve if they watch their tape and they learn their weaknesses. So there's amazing football players out there. They're just not as amazing as the top shelf. And just like a bartender, right, Aldo?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So the top shelf is expensive for a reason. And when I look at this preseason on tape, yes, Chase has looked like garbage, but he knows the system. You're talking about the backup quarterback going into a season where Mitch Trubisky, I think, is taking the next step and is going to embarrass a lot of these national analysts, and it's going to be stories about it. And your backup quarterback better know the system, know where everybody is, and when it comes to starting offensive talent around him, I feel more comfortable with Chase Daniel than I do Tyler Bray.
100% agree.
Yeah. Bray is not an athlete, so the whole read game goes. Even in this summer, you saw Chase being able to do it. He gave every time, but that doesn't mean he can't pull. I think he's athletic enough to give you 7 yards, 6 yards, or whatever. Force those linebackers to stay at home sometimes. So Bray can never do that. That whole theory of offense goes out of the playbook. You can't have that. So he fits a different style of offense in my mind. Like he's Nick Foles. So I just think the backup to what it is you want to do here, he's the safe choice right now. And I'm okay with that as the GM, Shane.
Yeah, I have him on my 53 because I don't think there's any other way that you can go. If they had any intention of moving off of him, he wouldn't have been here in March, whenever they what it was. Was it a team option on his contract? I can't remember if it was a team or a player or whatever it was, but
I think it was a player option, if I remember.
Okay,
correctly.
is that what it was? Yeah. All right, so yeah, they've made their bed with Chase Daniel, and we'll see, in 2020 what happens. But he's, I have the Bears keeping 2. Bray is a goner on my 53, and I guess there's that workaround where they're going to try to get him onto the practice squad, but that to me is
get rid of him.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, goddamn, this is making me depressed.
And speaking, Dan Aguirre wants Tyler Bray over Chase Daniel. He just texted us, Phil.
Yes,
Oh, really? He did?
That's why I put that sound drop together. He's all in the Bray hand in poker. He wants that hand to be played. Chase is a bust, according to our man, the voice of Barroom. Great open, by the way, on the new draft show.
Oh, thank you. Let's talk about the draft show a little later. I got a couple things I want to bring up with you guys, but let's continue. Let's give an update on the game for those listening live on Mixler.com. It's 12-9. The Titans drove downfield and picked up a field goal, and they're ready to kick off now with I think it's about 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Let's continue now with your guys' 53-man roster and start with the running back position. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay, so we got the quarterbacks. Aldo, you're with us step for step with Trubisky and Daniel?
Absolutely, and I wouldn't, unless somebody really spectacular lands on waivers, which it's not going to happen, and they wouldn't. That quarterback probably wouldn't fall to the Bears, who picked 23rd, I believe. Daniels is the guy. He's there, and we have to just live with that. Let's keep Mitch safe and cross our fingers. Absolutely, no argument there.
Well, we're all on the same page.
You got
it. I'm the GM here. I got, in regards to the running back position, I have 4/5/6. So. And I'll explain it like this.
Okay.
David Montgomery is going to be your starter with Cohen working in, and Davis is going to get some short yardage situations and what have you. But I think it's well documented. If you're a new listener listening in on the pod tomorrow or this morning, or you're listening now for the first time, I'm a huge David Montgomery. He was my number 1 back in the draft. He's proven so far what I wanted to see out of him. So he's the number 1. And then I have, Ryan Nall making this football team. I think everything I've seen on tape in situational football, everything that you want to see from a running back, Nall has given you. He's flashed every week. He plays hard to the whistle. He is an athlete. He's got a second gear. On the tape never lies this week, I broke down one play with a phantom hold that he scores a touchdown, and his balance and agility. He's on the screen now making a little cutback, and it's not blocked well. So he has a good feel. I like this kid. I think he's too valuable to let that kind of player go, especially on a team with which, you can always use him in different variety of ways, like an H-back in the offense, put him at fullback. Not that he is, but he can go there and give you reps there. But I also have Kareth White making this football team. I just think speed kills. Kick returner. I think a lot of people around the league see what kind of talent he is and his character. I mean, this kid Ives tonight, Jesus.
Just caught a 23-yard pass. He has 4 catches tonight for 87 yards. He has he's showing a lot of good tape there for people out there. I mean, geez, the Bears are stacked at the wide receiver position, and Ives, I'm sure
we're gonna get into the receiver position.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a couple texts from people like
Phil and I. We talked about Ives.
Yeah,
was it earlier in the week?
We thought we were gonna hide him.
He's got super hands, that kid, and he runs really good routes. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about them. I think White can do the kick returning too, or punt returning, and you can keep that kind of game breaker. He's somebody I was going back and forth because of Cordarrelle Patterson. He's my other running back in that 6 that could play receiver, kick returner, and maybe return punts. I don't know how consistent his hands are in regards to that. Has he returned punts in his career, Shane? Patterson? Cordarrelle Patterson?
Punts?
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I'll check it out while you guys continue with your list.
Oh, Bray underthrows a ball to Ives coming deep across that drag route that Nagy loves, that deep over.
He got banged after he threw the pass.
Ooh, yeah, he did.
Let me see. He's coming back on a 5-step off action. That was a kind of a late hit, ref. He's standing there for, come on.
And no penalty, of course.
Oh my God!
None of the Bears quarterbacks get any respect with late hits. It's like
a second and a half late.
Yeah, clearly.
It's so clear.
Cordarrelle Patterson has returned in his pro career. He's returned 1 punt for 9 yards.
All right, so that can give this kid White, if he's working his ass off on it, an opportunity to be a punt return. I know Cohen's your number 1, but maybe you don't want to put him out there. So I just like the kid's breakaway speed. And Patterson could play tailback, Aldo. He's such a threat. And Nagy's already hinted at how the Raiders used him, how the Patriots used him. The Vikings didn't know how to use him. So I just think you're going to see Nagy use him as a chess piece. So those are my backs.
Shane?
We're somewhat close. I will probably surprise a lot of people here with this comment, but I ended up keeping him on the 53, and I had a real hard debate because I was going short at the running back position with Montgomery, Cohen, and Davis, and I was going to cut it off there for numbers and other positions because you can pretty much get everything that you want out of that position from those 3. But I just kept on falling back to the explosiveness with White, giving you the ability in the return game. I just don't think that you can stash players with an attribute like that. I don't think Ryan Nall, if he's on this 53, is pounding it up the gut in the 4th preseason game. How many carries does he have tonight?
Let's take a look at Mr.
I like Ryan Nall.
9.
Yeah, he's got 9. I just
also came on the Bar Room 100 Proof, friend of the show.
Big
You're ripping all our friends tonight out. Shane.
I think that we're a little safer. I think he would be a lock for the practice squad. I think he's a guy that we can keep safe down there. And if you run into an injury, pop him up to get you some tough yards. Phil talked about him with a fullback. Little nugget going forward on a position that we haven't covered yet. I have Bradley Sowell making this team, making the 53, which is a surprise. I know I'm not a huge fan, but I think the Bears are going to put him on this roster for the reason that they did last. He took more snaps at fullback and tight end last year than he did on the offensive line. And I think that they want to do that again, obviously, with him this year with that move. And I think you're going to see him lined up at fullback in place of a guy like, Ryan Nall getting carries like that or, getting snaps there. But Kareth White, I just love the explosion. I don't think you can ever have enough of those guys on your roster. And everybody knows that I've been a big fan even before he was a Bear. And I have the Bears carrying 4 in Cohen, Montgomery, Davis, and Kareth White.
You know what's interesting about this whole situation with the Bears running back and receivers is you've got 2 players, Tariq Cohen and Cordarrelle Patterson, who are hybrid players. You're going to see both of these guys playing both of those positions a lot. In camp, Patterson ran a lot of goal line red zone running plays. and you haven't, of course, seen him at all in preseason. I think that's one of those secrets that's going to be unveiled September 5th. Is getting down to the goal line, you're going to see Cordero Patterson lined up in the backfield, either carrying the ball or going in motion and playing a receiver position and trying to get a one-on-one with somebody a lot smaller. Because of that, because of the Tariq Cohen Patterson hybrid thing, we might see Shane was just saying, we might see only 3 running backs. Because of that ability. And we might see Ryan Nall spend a second year in the practice squad. And,
I agree. And Kareth White, yeah.
And Kareth White, because here's what happens that all of us fans, sometimes worry about is that, we worry about our guy making it through waivers. Well, the fact of the matter is that there are 31 other teams that fall in love with their players they selected too, that they drafted, that they signed in undrafted free agents and so forth. And they are hesitant sometimes to pluck somebody off the waiver wire because you got to put them on the 53-man roster. You can't put them on your practice squad. And so that guy is not going to be ready to play week 1. So there's a lot of hesitancy about making a move like that. I'm less worried about White and Nall, passing through waivers, and so I'm kind of with Shane. I think we're going to see a 3-headed running back committee because of the Patterson at running back / fullback kind of position.
Yeah, they targeted Patterson for a reason, but your point on Kareth White passing through, my biggest fear there is his returnability. Mm-hmm. And there's guys that want explosive return, and they're not going to have a problem putting him as your number 3 running back that can return kicks. And I look back to last year's roster. If Taquan Mizell can get snaps in this offense,
exactly.
How can Kareth White or Ryan Nall not get snaps?
Yeah, I hear you.
But Aldo, it opens up another door, and I know we're jumping around here with the roster, but you're talking about these hybrid players. I think you can take that all the way over to the secondary with Sherrick McManus.
Yes.
They moved him to safety, and I think it was Lauren Cox maybe tweeted it out. They're going to take half roster spots. He's going to get a half a roster spot at safety and a half a roster spot at cornerback, and that's how you're going to buy other spots within your roster. And it's the same type of deal with Patterson. But
I'm a huge motherfucking barfly.
If it's totally up to me, there's too much natural explosive talent there with Kareth White. Mm-hmm. I can't risk it.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that.
I got White, Nall, Montgomery, Davis, and Cohen all making it. I just threw the wild card in there to Aldo's point because I think Patterson is going to be a half player. He's going
I'll tell you, I want Caldwell. I want Caldwell on the practice squad. I like the kid.
I think he's love the kid. Guy. Yes.
But
you could throw him on the practice squad and he knows the offense and he's learning. That's good. But I like what you're selling in White. That's why I kept him. But I can't give away Nall. I really can't. So that's where I'm thinking in my GM.
Aldo.
Iggy
were you excited because Jim Miller shaved the nuts off his chin?
Jim Miller, man. We got to do a whole show on Jim Miller one of these days, 100 proof show, so we can just let him have it. But Joel Bunye with an excellent run stop behind the line of scrimmage. And he's going to make this team, but we'll get to that position later on. All right, let's talk more about the wide receiver position now.
Shane, obsession and being obsessed.
Shane, why don't you begin with your guys?
That was one of the biggest talking points all offseason. I know Greg Braggs wanted us to carry, I think, 7. I'll just run down the list of the guys that I kept. Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller, Cordero Patterson, Riley Ridley, and Javon Wims. I don't believe any of them are playing tonight.
Correct.
So it's Marvin Hall was a guy that I thought might sneak in there. I was really, really disappointed in him not showing me. To me, he looked lost on special teams, on returns. He got open deep a couple of times, and Bray couldn't hit him. But to me, it's really, really cut and dry. I think you're going to see a guy like a Thomas Ives be back onto the practice squad. I think you can save him down there if there's a injury to a Wims or somebody like that. Later on, maybe bring him up if there's some, trust with him. Yeah, exactly. But pretty straightforward on my wide receivers. Like I said, just Robinson, Gabriel, Miller, Patterson, Ridley, and Wims. I don't think there's a heck of a lot different direction I can go there.
I kept.
Go ahead.
I have the same, and I kept Hall. I did, because I think had a quarterback been able to throw a football, they would have been talking about this fucking guy like, whoa, we have another game breaker here. So that's why I just.
But if you're keeping Kareth White, can you afford to keep Marvin Hall too?
On my roster, yes, I can. And I'll tell you why.
Two guys that might never.
Kareth White is going to be your kick returner.
What about Cordero Patterson that you brought him for? You're not gonna let him return kicks at an all-pro level?
He's gonna be there too, but I have a huge understanding offensively how Cordero Patterson is gonna be involved a lot more than people think. I mean, that fucking guy is huge.
Oh yeah,
I can't believe how big this dude is. And if you're using him in Nagy's offense, they're fucking running the T formation. I guarantee it's the first play in 84 starting.
Yeah.
I'll be in the stadium. I will freaking go back to Twitter and say, I fucking told you so. T formation, toss right. It's going to be Patterson. First play.
They did it last year. That was their first
play. They did first play last year, T?
Yeah. First play.
Very first play.
Yeah, Cohen with Jordan Howard blocking.
Yep.
That's right.
Steven Zimmerman says that Marvin Hall showed a lot in Bourbonnais. That's got to count for something. I will say this. Out of the 9 practice sessions that I attended in Bourbonnais, one of those practice sessions, Marvin Hall was the star of the day. That motherfucker had an outstanding day. Outstanding in everything that he did. He could do no wrong. The other practices, he was okay. He never quite matched the stupendousness of that one day. I think he's on the bubble, and I would not at all be surprised if he is cut come Saturday.
All right, two guys don't agree with me, but I lose then. But I'm going with Zimmerman. I believe he's going to make it. So you kept 6, I kept 7 receivers.
All right.
But I also cheated the numbers. So if you're following at home, Cordero Patterson, I'm going to list him at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was just trying to show you early to what Aldo and Shane are saying. I think this kid's going to be in the backfield a lot. And goal line is a clear place. He's going to imagine running counter. Okay, with Cordero Patterson and David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine. So
you're gonna see it, yeah.
So think about this. Doubt. For those of you following at home, Mitch Trubisky's in the formation. What do you call it, Shane? Why am I not Wildcat? Shotgun. Why am I drawing a blank on this formation? God, it just came and went on me. So he's the tail.
He's running a jet sweep. You talking about?
Not jet sweep. The formation. Why did it go out of? It's a certain name for it. I'll think of it, but I'll describe it for those of you at home. So the tailback is lining up. Pistol. Thank you.
Zimmerman.
See, Shane, I told you I'm starting to like this kid a little bit more.
I like Zimmerman. For the record,
Zimmerman wants to come on and present his 53.
All right, maybe we'll call him after when the game's over. But for the record, I gotta say I like Steven Zimmerman. I just wish he'd stop fucking bugging me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
He's
Phil.
right in the pistol, and then you have Cordero Patterson coming in jet sweep motion. So Mitch takes the snap, meshes it, puts it in the belly, for those of you following at home, of David Montgomery. then leans into it and rides him into the line of scrimmage and then pulls it out and gives it to Patterson coming around. The things that these two guys alone could do is tremendous for the Chicago Bears because of what they threaten. And having a big... Okay, everybody saw last year Taylor Gabriel running jet sweep, right?
Yep.
So now the jet sweep guy is now 6'4", 238 pounds, coming around full speed. That is a different threat, right, Shane?
Oh, yeah, it's a whole different threat.
So I just think the world of what they're trying to do personnel-wise with these two. So that there you go. Pistol. I'm already designing plays for this offense for them.
The third quarter is over, and let's continue with our evaluation of the 53-man roster. This time, Phil, why don't you start us off with the tight end position?
Yeah, this was another interesting one. I mean, you're seeing Horsted tonight stand out. I mean,
huge.
I think the kid could play receiver in the league if he wanted to, based on what he's doing. I also like the effort and his hands and everything about the kid, but I really think he's one of those tweeners. With Shane, we all talked about in the beginning, he was kind of the star of the first half if you had to give a star to somebody. But I just think that kid is somebody you're going to try to develop and might not be ready yet. So in my tight end room, I obviously keeping Trey Burton and Adam Shaheen, or Jafar, we're going to call him. Someone pull up this picture on NFL app. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And then you got Ben Broniker. And I have Ian Bunting making this football team.
Interesting.
And Ian Bunting, 6'6", and doing the things. It was between him and Sowell, to Shane's point here. And I just thought Bunting can give you the effort and the ability and also be a threat downfield. In my eyes, I totally am going to say for the record, I could see them keeping Sowell. But for me, I would weigh heavier on the up-and-coming developmental guy that had been banged up and switched schools and now is finding his feet. I think you might have something a little bit special that can grow into the body, learn on the roster, and give you reps. As you said, Aldo, watching him, I like his effort in the run and blocking game as well as getting downfield. So I'm keeping those 4 tight ends.
And before Shane presents his tight ends, I want to say that I think a lot depends on the health of Adam Shaheen. Now, and so if he is going into the season at less than 100%, you might see, fewer wide receivers and more tight ends than anticipated, in my opinion. Shane, what do you think?
Well, Aldo just gave me the perfect lead-in for my scenario. I went heavy at tight end, and I think tight end is a huge part of Nagy's offense, and I think that they're going to go. Went heavy there in the past. I think they're going to go heavy on the 53, and I think they're also going to have one, if not 2 of them, on the practice squad. In case Adam Shaheen is a huge question mark. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. When he's on, he can look good, but he's very rarely on because he's always hurt. So my tight end room consists of Trey Burton, Adam Shaheen, Ben Broniker, Bradley. Is it Sowell or Soul?
Sowell is what he prefers, according.
He says Sowell.
Yeah, according to Adam Johns. Yeah.
Okay, so I have Bradley Sowell and I have Ian Bunting. Also making.
We both have Ian Bunting. Look at that.
Yep. Because like I said, I think you're going to see some of that versatility with Sowell, with lining up a fullback, and like I said, who loves to run a lot of these gadget plays more than Matt Nagy? Phil just talked about what he's going to do with Patterson. Aldo, you talked about it with him down at the goal line, running the ball in. Sowell's going to give them another guy, and Bunting is the guy that if Adam Shaheen trips over a shoelace and is out for 6 weeks because of a concussion.
Right.
One thing is the laugh about it. Are we going to be surprised?
Smartest man, motherfucker.
One thing is the upside guy that can give you some, downfield juice that they need, along with Trey Burton, and can move around a little bit and block a little bit. And so I really think they're going heavy at tight end on the 53.
Interesting.
Especially early. Sandy Tom made a great point in the DMs earlier in the day, talking about Deion Sims and what he brought to this team. And, a guy that could block sometimes, he might give you one play downfield. And that's what I'm looking at with some of these lower end guys. I think, I know people don't agree with me. I think with Sowell, I think that there was a wink, wink, nod, nod agreement with him dropping this weight, and they realize that he's an older guy anyway. We're gonna keep you on the 53. We like what you bring. He's a guy that you can still talk to the guys on the offensive line. He can still talk to a guy like Alex Bars, and he can still give you some snaps in the backfield, at fullback and tight end along the way too. So, but I have 5 tight ends.
Wow.
Bring back Phil.
You really think that Sowell can play offensive line if Leno goes down? Or okay, go ahead.
No. I don't think that they're going to use him as an offensive lineman. I think that they may line him up there on a play and make him, tackle eligible like we saw. I just think Nagy, that's who Matt Nagy is, and I think it was Adam Hogue that originally said it, that he feels like there was a wink, wink, nod, nod agreement with him dropping all this weight. And if it was me, I would rather go with the younger guys. But I think they find a spot for him on this 53. That's what my gut is telling me.
Nate in the chat room says you are right about Sowell. I wish he wasn't a part of this team, though. And I'm with Nate. I don't see Sowell, and that's not what Nate's saying. Nate agrees with you that he's going to make the team, but I just have not seen enough of Sowell to say that he deserves a spot on this roster.
Did you see more out of Deion Sims, or was he just here because of finances?
Well,
he was here because of the contract.
Right. I think he was here because of a poor decision made by the John Fox era. Those guys were trying desperately to save their jobs, and they made some really stupid decisions, and Deion Sims was part of that. I think that this whole experiment with Taquan and Bradley, this was a bone thrown to these guys, basically telling them, you guys, want to try this out, you'll have a better chance of making a team. But I don't think there was a wink agreement. Hell no. I don't think they would operate like that. Promising them a roster spot for dropping weight and changing position, man, no fucking way. I think those guys are
no. It's a hell no.
Aren't they essentially doing that with the backup quarterback position?
Well, yes, but that's different in that they look at that backup quarterback position as more of a tutor, as somebody who knows the offense, and they can focus on teaching Trubisky. Everybody teaching Trubisky. They got even the fucking janitor coming in and saying, Mitch, do it this way. That's the whole focus. So you're comparing apples and oranges there. Now, you may be right. It's just my opinion that I just don't think Bradley Sowell deserves to make this team, and I don't think that he's received any guarantees whatsoever that he's going to make this team.
We keep it at 100, baby.
Goddamn right.
Did he suit up? Did he take any snaps tonight?
Bradley? No. Number 85, I have not seen him on the field. So that
he has pads on.
He does?
But
so does Mitch.
I didn't see him.
Mitch has pads on?
Mitch is wearing pads?
Oh, no. Mitch doesn't have pads on. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy shit.
You said pads, and I defaulted to jersey in my head.
Oh.
Ooh, fudge.
I'm looking at what you're saying. I think I agree with Aldo. I don't think you can operate in wink, wink, nod, nod. I think with Dion was the contract, and we complained about that shit because politics and football, they don't mix. You don't win.
But it happens everywhere. It happens everywhere.
Not everywhere. It doesn't.
It does.
Not championship franchises. Not like New England. They don't fucking pay you. Oh, okay, we'll fucking cut you because you're gonna do it this way. So, Sowell has not stood out to me. So that's why I left him off the roster. But to Shane's point, I've seen him be able to set the edge. And it's so critical for offensive coordinators to get the edge set with these outside zone games.
Yeah.
It's so important to them.
That's a great point.
So if that's his only duty, to be out there and set the edge, and then sometimes we're going to run action off of it, and you're going to get down and run a little out route. Great play there by Tolliver in the end zone, Aldo.
Yes,
great play.
Indeed, a great play. But and that what you were just saying about Sal setting the edge. That gets back to my point about Adam Shaheen. Adam Shaheen, his value to this team cannot be overestimated because he is the guy that can set the edge. He is the guy that can potentially run every route that Matt Nagy wants him to run. That is so important to Matt that he wants 5 guys out there supporting their quarterback as guys that can do just about everything. And that's why I am sour on Bradley Sowell, because he can't do just about anything. He can hardly do anything to my expectations anyway. In fact, in one of the preseasons, we saw him, miss a block. And you would think, that should be his strength. So that's my concern there. Oil Pan Willie in the chat room says, I really don't know how to feel about this whole situation. I agree with all of you. and everybody's
Oil Pan's back.
Yeah, everybody's making a good point here. I mean, that. And I wish the NFL would put the cameras in there so that we can hear that discussion from these coaches and the general managers and the player personnel people when they're having the same kind of discussions that we're having right now about these guys, because that's part of why we love this game. That's everybody right now that's in the chat room and the thousands that will hear this on the podcast. They want to know this stuff. This is part of the storyline of pro football. And
American Idol, Aldo. It was the ultimate reality show because they televise it, but this is the old, and when you get that little bit in Hard Knocks, the cuts,
exactly,
and the conversations with the coach. Well, he's now fucking working hard. He's not. You see it. And I don't think this year's Hard Knocks has given us enough, because I think the fucking Trump of coaches is in the fucking on the show, and he's like, "You're not fucking airing that. I don't give a fuck. I'll call Russia."
He was pretty that one scene though when he pulled Glennon.
Oh,
Peterman. He was very open about that.
He has no problem.
He said that Glennon sucked and get Peterman in there.
Was that this past week?
2 weeks in a row. Hold on, I got a drop set up at some in here.
Do you have a John Gruden?
I have a John Gruden drop when he's like, Glennon. Look at the neck on that guy.
That was awesome.
He reminds me of me sometimes with some of the shit he does, because I would be fucking busting everybody's balls to get them to laugh and fucking loosen up.
I don't have a lot of respect for John Gruden as a coach, but he certainly is fucking entertaining as a television personality. And so I'm glad he's coaching somewhere, because I don't think we have to worry too much that he's going to put together a team that's going to beat us, but he's certainly going to fucking entertain us with those stupid looks of his and the things that he says and stuff.
Yeah, it is entertaining, that part, but
no shit.
Yeah.
What is the other saying that he says on Hard Knocks?
You hear me? Knock.
Yeah, I like that. I was going to pull
knock on wood. Yeah, are you with me?
Yeah, are you with me? Knock on wood. I was going to pull that, but then I said to myself, "Well, that's a Raider thing. Fuck that."
Hold on, I got a couple. While you're talking, let me set it up.
Oh man, they're showing pictures of Dick Butkus, and that guy. You guys are just way too young. You didn't get a chance to see him play. I saw him towards the end when he was starting to break down, but even then, the ferociousness and the nastiness of this son of a bitch was just fucking unbelievable. That kind of player, George Halas, I think he said it about Gale Sayers, the likes of him we'll never see again. He could have said that about Dick Butkus, too. There was just a certain aura about this guy that was just fucking unbelievable. And speaking of
both drafted in the same draft.
That's right. Speaking of that,
Sorry for being a dick. Sorry for being a dick, but I am a dick.
I love it.
That was for you, Aldo.
Thank you. Speaking of that, I want to play a little bit of audio here. We'll take a break from our 53-man roster talk. And on this week's Buffon 55, John answered a question about his connection with the Chicago Bears and 100 years, and I really loved his response. It was one of several responses on his show, Buffon 55, that I loved, and I was going to put together some kind of video. And so I'm working on this one first. Hopefully I'll have time to do everything in my mind that I want to do. But here's the track to what he said to that question. I wanted to play it for you guys. This is pretty awesome.
Listen, I usually do a good job at realizing that sports are not life and death. I can easily deal with my favorite baseball, basketball, and hockey team losing. I usually get over that pretty quickly. However, I don't have that capability with the Chicago Bears. I've said on several occasions that the Bears are my most favorite thing in the entire world, and I have the rare and distinct honor of having a family connection to the organization. I loved my Uncle Doug, and my Uncle Doug loved the Bears, and listening to him on the radio after a Bears game was one of my favorite things in the world to do. But even before that, the Bears took a chance on him coming out of the University of Louisville. They were a gateway for a young Italian kid from a very, very modest Western PA town to help his parents out, to help raise his 6 siblings, one of which my own father, who still follows the Bears very closely. And because of that connection, I catch myself saying we when referring to the Bears, which I know is a big media faux pas, but I don't care. Now, aside from that, there's just so much history behind this franchise that helped shape the NFL. Sid Luckman in the 40s, including a 73-0 win over Washington in the 1940 NFL championship game. Clark Shaughnessy, the father of the T formation, coaching beside Papa Bear Halas in the 50s. The 85 Bears, potentially the best defense and maybe team of all time. A team that has incredible, iconic names like Butkus, Sayers, Peyton, Singletary, Urlacher, and Buffon. For 100 years, we have viewed theater in real life, a sports drama that incites passion and emotion. You see joy, sadness, relief, disdain, anger, anxiety, laughter, disbelief, and the occasional broken heart caused by something as simple as a piece of pigskin doinking off of a yellow goalpost. So why has this sport remained relevant for a century? Why is this game so important to us? How has a simple game of football captivated so much? Well, the answer is really that there is no answer. Each and every person that loves this game most likely loves it for their own reason. There are 100 things that draw us to football and will continue to draw us to football. And that is why it's going to be around for another 100 years.
That reminds me of the Draft Dr. Phil rants on Bears Are Alive. We've got here at Bears Barroom guys that can fucking rant, man. Very, very poetic, very, very inspirational. Right. Draft Dr. Phil, that was John Buffon. We've got other people who can do that. We're all very, very lucky to have them on the same team. It's pretty unbelievable. Steven Zimmerman says that he can do it too. He wants his opportunity.
Oh, just when I thought we were bringing him, then he brings us
His girlfriend right now is saying, man, that fucking Aldo's really fucking with you tonight. All right. We are now in the fourth quarter. Who is number 30 for the Chicago Bears? He just unleashed a
Michael Joseph.
No, on the offense, the other 30.
Oh, 30. That's Caldwell.
Josh Caldwell.
Shane's
That's a sweet little run there. Man,
showing the ultra back.
what do you guys,
Yeah.
before we get back to our roster selections, what do you guys think about Matt Nagy this week giving the play calling to Dave Ragone? I got to just say this. Nagy is bored that he can't open up the playbook, so he said, "Fuck it, we're only going to run 15 plays. You guys call the plays."
I think it's smart.
Why?
You want to showcase some of your guys, for bigger jobs. Andy Reid's done that. I mean, that's Matt Nagy, benefited from stuff like that. So,
Sure.
Yeah, listen, you want to have the best coaching staff possible, but you also want to see your guys, get to the mountaintop. So,
Right.
Helfrich did it last week. There was whispers about him possibly being up for the Colorado job this past offseason in college football. And Dave Ragone, he's obviously a guy that Mitch loves. So, the fourth preseason, I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I mean, there's teams out there that were calling Carly Lloyd to kick in the fourth preseason game. So, if you're going to, you know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you give one of your top coaches his shot? You know what I mean?
Sorry for being a dick, but I am a dick.
Let him showcase himself a little bit, and I have no problem with it. I think it's smart myself.
Yeah, but I don't. Yes, I do agree with you that it is smart and so forth. But he's not really showcasing. The playbook is down to 5 pages.
Right. You're right. It's not showcasing, but it's putting him. Just like what he said with Mitch with the first preseason game. He wanted him to get out there in the pregame, get in that mindset that he was going out there. The prep, that he was taking the snap. He's coming out of the tunnel as a starting quarterback. It's no different than your quarterback coach coming in with that mindset that he's the offensive coordinator. He's got to find his rhythm. He's got to get used to 10 other guys screaming in his ears, and it's he sees his play that he called develop on the field. So I don't think it's anything more than that.
Sounds
Mac
good.
and Mitch talking on the sideline is really good television for me. That's a relationship and bond of two seeing that.
Few short years ago, our pillars were Kyle Long and James Anderson,
Jay Cutler.
All right, let's get back to the 53 man.
I want to say one other thing.
Please do.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
John Buffone's passion. We always talk about, just having passion about, and that's what makes this network stand out. I heard it in his voice and his emotion. The raw emotion was there, and I respect that. Hats off to you, John Buffone, for bringing that, because you're speaking to the choir here. I could speak for Shane here too. I mean, I live and die with this. My whole life revolves around when the Bears are playing, and anybody who knows me in Connecticut, or anywhere, knows that I am watching the game no matter what. My wife knows that. Prior to marriage, we had Bears tables, for God's sake, with players for the numbers of the tables. So
yeah, do you
do
listeners get this? At this guy's wedding, the tables weren't numbered. They had Chicago Bears player's name. So
Yes.
people you're sitting over at the Walter Payton table. Whoa, that's the best fucking table in the house. Thank you, Phil.
They were introduced as draft picks.
Yes, we had a draft.
That is awesome.
We had a. And
Steph
we
was
made
a
up.
first rounder, and Phil was an undrafted free agent CFL.
Remember in the movie? Did you guys ever see the movie Diner, where this guy is going to determine whether he asks his girlfriend to marry him if she passes a quiz based on I think it was the Baltimore Orioles or Baltimore Sports or something like that? Did you guys ever see that movie?
Didn't Zimmerman say he was proposing tonight? Oh, did I put the Eddie Pinheiro pressure on Zimmerman with his girlfriend sitting there listening?
He said he already did that.
Oh, she turned him down? She turned him down?
Again.
She's collecting My Little Ponies.
All right. Can we talk OL?
Yes.
All right. Whose turn is it first? I think it's Shane's turn to present his choices for the offensive line.
So again, just like with my wide receivers, pretty straightforward. Charles Leno, Cody Whitehair, James Daniels, Kyle Long, Bobby Massey, Ted Larson, Alex Bars, and Rashad Coward. There's been some little bit of secrecy with Coward. I don't even think he's suited up at all tonight. Correct. And I don't really have any faith in any of the guys behind any of those that I just listed. I think that if for whatever reason veteran came out, that got free, I think that might be some place that they would look if they could potentially stash Coward on the IR if it's that significant of an injury. But you just don't see guys like that hit the waiver wire this late in the process, unless it's something like Josh Sitton, a financial move. But again, pretty straightforward. Cornelius Lucas, I don't see a guy like that sticking. No. It's not there. I would be pretty surprised if Phil's list is any different.
We're exactly the same.
Yeah.
100% the same. Larson, Whitehair, Daniels, Long, Leno, Bars, Coward.
So left tackle goes down. Who's playing left tackle?
Left tackle.
Cody
Whitehair or Kyle Long are going to move out there.
I think it's all Whitehair.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea, and while it's not the best solution, I kind of like the idea of having Coward play the right side, either tackle or guard, as opposed to being a swing tackle, because the fucker hasn't even seen a snap at left tackle unless it happened outside of the public eye. Because I was at 9 Bourbonnais practice, and Coward never played left tackle. And now he's coming off an injury. So the idea of having him play left tackle is just out of the question. The idea of seeing Bars being a backup left guard and playing backup left tackle in the event that you lose, you lose Whitehair and Leno.
Something catastrophically
exactly
wrong.
That's better put than the way I put it, which gave me fucking heart palpitations.
For the record, we're going 53 based on this. For all we know, they could be a trade for a backup, swing tackle tomorrow or Saturday.
You remember we traded Ryan Groy for a special teamer from New England. I forget the guy's name. I think he was a safety.
Yeah, I forgot.
But you see lower end, like New England just made a trade yesterday for a center, because David Andrews might be out for the year with that blood clot issue. So you see lower end moves like that.
This kid Banfield has impressed me on tape every time.
I have a star on him for the practice squad.
Exactly. This kid is somebody that I really think could develop.
Who's that again? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Banfield.
Banfield, number 93. He's from a small school. What the heck school?
Yeah, I had.
Can you look it up?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I have him on here.
Was it Brown?
No, he's not another Princeton. Where is he? Banfield.
Got it right here.
He's listed as a nose tackle. So he would be behind.
Yeah, he's from Brown.
Is he from Brown?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes, he is from Brown. Like that. Oh, shit. I'm loving all these fucking
those t-shirts that say the smartest man, Phil. It's not a fucking joke, you dickhead.
Where's the drop? Yeah, Banfield from Brown. I'm pissed that I forgot that he's from Brown. I'm thinking he was from some small school in Ohio or some shit.
Badgley just texted me and thinks that he could be the replace Roy Robertson.
Who wasn't dressed tonight.
Do you guys know Dan Skipper at all? He plays offensive tackle for the Patriots.
Heard the name, not super familiar with him.
Because the reason I bring him up because there's an article that he is on the bubble for making the team offensive tackle, and the Patriots and Bears have made lots of trades in the past. And so this guy could be one of those guys that the Bears might want to pursue, because if he is released, again, there's no guarantee Skipper will be available once he's out on waivers by the time the Bears pick. So somebody to keep an eye on. I'm totally with you that there is a very good chance the Bears will make a trade with somebody for a swing tackle, a late round draft pick, a conditional pick, what have you, whatever it is.
Nick Kwiatkowski.
Nick Kwiatkowski, exactly. The fact that he did
his value could bring you a backup.
I'm with you.
Offensive tackle.
He's the kind of guy that Bill Belichick would love on his team. Hardworking, run-stopping guy. You can disguise his limitations with what you're asking him to do. Belichick would be a perfect, and the Patriots would be a perfect fit for Nick Kwiatkowski, indeed. All right, so Phil, you agree with Shane's picks at the offensive line. Let's then move to the defensive line, and why don't you start us off?
Defensive line, Akeem Hicks. Where am I at here on my paper?
The big question everybody wants to know is
Akeem Hicks.
Jonathan Bullard going to make the team on Phil's picks there?
Hicks, Nichols, Roy Robb, Eddie Goldman, Nick Williams, and I have Abdullah Anderson making it over your boy Jonathan Bullard. I have him getting cut or traded. I just don't think he fits what it is. I think he'd be more comfortable always being in a 3 technique and having to.
That's where he should be, yeah.
Yeah, he can't play 5 and be that lazy.
There's no consistency in his game.
None.
The only thing that is consistent is his inconsistency. For real.
Exactly. I mean, he doesn't hustle. If he guesses the snap count, right, he looks like an explosive football player. But other than that,
he's never looked like the 6th overall player available. Jose Cotto.
Oh, jeez.
There was a play.
Jose drop.
There was a play in the preseason game. I think it was the second or third preseason game where Bullard guessed the snap count, and I immediately thought of Jose Cotto, former Bears barroom analyst who was touting Jonathan Bullard. Shane just said he had him in the top 10. And
6th overall.
6th overall. And, I guess what Cotto never realized is that in college, Bullard was really good at anticipating the snap count with these young players, but in the pros, that only happens once in a great while. Outside of that, he's just looked below average. It looks like Tyler Bray got hurt on the play here. We'll see what happens here.
Oh, shit. If he did, who are they bringing in?
Yeah, that's good.
You're going to see a whole lot of handoffs from Chase. Well, John Fox would bring Mitch in. But.
Sandman, I think, agreed with you on all your defensive lineman picks, Phil. He's got Hicks, Goldman, Nichols, RRH, Williams, and Abdullah Anderson. That's 6 defensive linemen.
Yeah, he's got Abdullah too.
Yep. And I think that Shane has Abdullah too, because he kind of chastised me for not having Abdullah in the poll that I ran on Twitter today. So Shane, who do you got?
Well, I have to lay a little bit of groundwork because Jonathan Bullard would not be on my team. Mm-hmm. But I really, really, really feel like he's going to be on this 53. Mm-hmm. I couldn't force myself to put him on it just because I don't think he deserves a spot on this team. So my defensive yeah, Jose, go ahead.
So that's fair. You wouldn't put him on your team, but you think he's going to make the 53.
If I was putting money on it, I think he's going to be on the 53. I couldn't put him.
As the GM, he's saying no. But at Ryan Pace, you're saying yes.
I think he'll be on the 53. Yes. So my defensive line consists of Akeem Hicks, Bilal Nichols, Eddie Goldman, Roy Robertson Harris, and Abdullah Anderson is the last guy. Big fan. that was so tough for me. He didn't make it initially last year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They left him off, and then
Correct.
they brought him back later.
Right.
And I think that's you see that a lot with these veteran guys. I mean, he's 29, 30 years old, right in that window. And I think he's one of those guys that they don't want to guarantee his set. With these veterans, they're on week one. It guarantees their salary for the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of these guys. They're going to go into financial mode.
I usually do a good job at realizing.
Cannot shut John up once you get him going. I'm sorry.
But he won't make the initial 53. Then he becomes an unguaranteed contract. Abdul Anderson, I just see the guy make plays. Is he the perfect player? No, but he's a young guy with some upside and to me he flashes way more than Jonathan Bullard does.
Yeah.
That's why you're putting him there.
Right, exactly.
Because he plays hard and he flashes, and Bullard is
one thing that I wanted to make a point on. We talked about these hybrid players I mentioned Sherrick McManus. You talked about Cordero Patterson. Phil mentioned this last year. Ryan Pace mentioned it this offseason, that Roy Robertson Harris, when they were saying, you didn't bring in an edge in the draft, he mentioned him specifically as a guy that can rush from the outside. You haven't seen any of that in these preseason games. I think that's something. I think that's going to be a little bit of a surprise by some teams. Yeah. You're going to see this kid all over the place.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And frankly, I was a little surprised that he played so much in the third preseason, but maybe not. Now that I think about it, Roy Robert, you have to play somebody, right?
Yeah.
And so the fact that he was out there for a lot of plays in the third preseason game, at first I was surprised, but I guess it probably was a good thing.
I like Nick Williams. He's a guy that always shows up, but I think he's a guy that you can probably go back to in week 4 or week 5, and he's probably still available to come on your roster, and if there's an injury or whatever happens. So that's why liked player. I just think that they like him better with an unguaranteed deal, and he might be a guy that you see down the line a little bit, just not in week 1.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Hey, a Hronis Garasu sighting.
Really?
Center, yeah, Tennessee.
I never liked that guy.
A double snap.
I never liked Garasu. You know why? That was part of the phase that the Bears were going through this draft. Fast, quick offensive linemen, even if they can't block.
I thought this kid was going to be something. I mean, the injury might have.
The injury did not help him, and then he got injured again. I mean, when he tore his ACL at Family Fest, I believe.
Yeah, so, I mean.
I just feel like, the whole idea of having quick offensive linemen is fantastic, but if they don't have the strength to play the position.
Right. Well, he didn't have the Olin Kreutz personality.
Yeah,
like
that too.
That was what was missing, because mentally he just wasn't a mean fucking asshole.
Right.
That's what you need at center. I
remember being at camp, standing alongside Lauren Cox, and he and I looked at each other as Garasu was just being fucking pancaked. I'm like, holy shit, that ain't good. And and then soon thereafter he got injured, and his career just went downhill. I doubt he's going to make this team with Tennessee, given that he's playing in the fourth quarter.
All right, we are Seth Rooney once again.
I tried to get Alyssa to ask him that last night.
Yes, you did. That was priceless. All right, Phil, your DLs.
Yeah, I gave him.
Yeah, he started.
All right, so why don't you start with, then Shane start with the linebackers.
Outside linebackers, Shane.
Cool.
Those.
Okay, I just did linebackers as a whole, but yeah, my outside guys are, where's my list? Got number 52. I'm pretty sure he's locked in.
Yeah, I think
Lil
so
Mac,
too.
Leonard Floyd, Aaron Lynch, Isaiah Irving, and James Vaughters.
Now, based on what you saw today, you still think Aaron Lynch is going to make the team?
I was surprised with him being injured that they're going to put him out there. I know they wanted to get some burn and probably get him into shape. I tend to side with what Phil said, that this was Pagano giving a fuck you to him, saying,
"Yep,
I don't give a shit if you're a veteran in this league or not. You're not going to show up on my side of the ball and not be in shape." But, you know, he went out and he had those 2 nice snaps in a row. And, you know, he's a guy, he signed Bobby posted, I think it was 1 year, 1.5 and 1.25 is guaranteed.
Right.
On his deal. But, yeah, I do have him making it because, you know, you alluded to it earlier, Aldo. This is we're not building to a Super Bowl. We're in the fucking window.
Yep.
Where we wanted to be.
This is it.
So you have guys like that. It's not that, you know, before we traded for Khalil Mack last year, he was the guy that we were relying on the other side.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Leonard Floyd.
We don't have turd.
So now, you know, he's pushing down to number 3, and he's got 2 young guys behind him that are showing some skills and that can, you know, if he falters, you know, who knows? It's just, I think you want your 3rd and 4th and 5th guys, possibly. They might not even keep 5 there, but you have to be able to get after the passer. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have to be able to make some run stops and stuff like that, but you have to be able to rush the passer. And if you're a backup edge, you have to get after the quarterback. And to me, I took the 3 best guys that were left in those 3, in Lynch, Irving, and Vaughters. There's just something about Vaughters, you know, even though he's a little bit older for a young guy. I like that.
Yeah.
Because he knows that he probably doesn't have a whole lot of chances left.
Right.
So he's fighting and he's clawing, and that's the type of guy that could go out. You don't know. He could go out against Green Bay and have 2 sacks and be on fucking fire and push a guy like fucking Aaron Lynch right off of the roster that's got potentially a bad attitude and is lazy. This
guy, Vaughters, is the perfect guy to have on your team.
Yep.
He's a veteran who now finds himself on a team that has a great chance to win the Super Bowl. And so he is saying to himself, holy fuck, I could be wearing a Super Bowl ring in about 5 months if I make this team and I play my fucking ass off.
Yeah.
And I play better than I play the way I've always dreamed I can play. And so that's why I love the choice of Waters making this team.
And before Phil goes with his guys, it's hard. If you show a fucking heartbeat as a pass rusher, you cannot fucking stash those guys. Impossible. It's impossible to. You're going to get fucking picked up someplace to be put on somebody's 53. So if you, like I said, if you show some semblance of a pass rush, and, you know, we have our top guys, the fact that he could be a 4th or a 5th pass rusher is fantastic.
Yeah. I hear you. The Titans have just taken a 3-point lead with the extra point to come, and it's running back, I don't know his first name, Dawkins, who has really excelled on this drive, both running the ball and catching the ball. The extra point is coming, and now it's a 4-point deficit with 1:25 to go. We'll see if Tyler Bray enters the game. It would be nice if he can lead them back to a touchdown. Would be a nice way for him to finish the night. And Bray looks like he will be healthy enough to take on this final drive, and the Bears have all 3 timeouts. So this should be fun for Dave Ragone.
Blown coverage there. Too easy.
Yeah.
The safety doesn't understand.
Doyen Jibowu had a really bad series on that touchdown drive for Tennessee.
Yeah, and he blows this because he has to be, based on man-to-man, he is the man on the running back. So he's not even in there. Joseph carries over. So, you know, it's preseason scrimmage, but it matters, and every rep that you're out there, you're trying to play and showcase yourself. You got to know what. That's the first and foremost thing.
Now you gotta see Bray connect on one of these fucking deep balls that he can't throw.
Oh, that's right. Let's hopefully he'll show us.
I'm behind you, so
Trade a backup quarterback controversy, Tyler.
Well, Shane and I are step for step in the outside linebackers. Based on them sitting all of Lynch all off season, I was just thinking it was going to be a layup. Tonight, I thought was the story for me in the first half was him being out there. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering what might go on there. Maybe there's a swing tackle in Denver, or why would you even play him actually if you were going to trade him? So I don't know. It's a concern, but I have him personally on my roster: Mack, Floyd, Irving, Lynch, and Vaughters. So me and Shane have the same exact, right? You said Irving as well, right?
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, I thought, but to your point, I just wanted to make one thing about Vaughters. He's, been kicked around. What's his name from the Dolphins was up in the Canadian Football League, and developing his craft, and then became a perennial Pro Bowler, pass rusher, dynamic football player. It happens all the time, and that's what I'm saying. When people say a lot of these guys are going to be bagging groceries, it's fun to say it, but these kids are young, and that's why there's such a need for a developmental league.
Yep.
So you can get some of these guys. But Borders, to me, is somebody that can get to the passer and someone that needs to be a part of this.
To look at this game, does Caldwell got a little bit of Jordan Howard in him when you watch him play?
I didn't notice that.
His feet remind me so much of Jordan Howard.
Really?
Yeah.
And to your point, Phil, I was thinking of a friend of the bar room and your friend, Greg Gabriel. This guy, just like every other personnel director for XFL teams, are watching these games because these guys, a lot of these guys will be playing when the XFL season starts in 2020. It is 2nd down and 10. Tyler Bray just missed a deep pass, of course.
Shocker.
But he just, what he doesn't, like I said it on the thing, it's like a guy throwing on the beach.
Yeah.
He just, he's got a big arm, but he has no anticipatory accuracy. It's like, drop it in the bucket. You got a one-on-one.
He's got a strong arm, and I think he's gotten away with that his entire career, college and everything, and he just waits so long. You saw Jay Cutler do that a lot, where he relied on his arm. He wasn't anticipating and trying to throw the guy open, especially on these balls.
It's like, it takes touch and timing.
Oh.
Right. One of the storylines that's going to be in the newspapers and media reports is, Pinheiro missing the extra point, and now the Bears are forced into, having to go for a touchdown here with less than 30 seconds to go because of the missed extra point, which is all stupid, ridiculous stuff because none of this matters. And Tyler Bray takes a sack because he doesn't want to get rid of the ball. Matt Nagy calls a timeout, and he's not happy. All right, let's go to the inside linebacker positions. Yeah, Bray had plenty of ways to get rid of that ball.
I'm a little behind you, so I can give you play-by-play because I'm done.
Go for it, man.
It's not live.
He had Tequan Mizell wide open.
I'm literally just getting the snap right now.
I'm waiting on the snap. He's barking out orders. You got twins to the right. You got a short wide receiver to the left to Taquan Mizell chips, and still they don't pick up the guy. Taquan Mizell chips him, and the tackle does not even block the guy, so he comes free. But to your point, Aldo, he should have gotten rid of it. Why, you're ahead of me now? Oh, they're going to show a replay.
Yeah. 16 seconds left. Bray just completes a pass to Ives. we'll resume our 53-man discussion
Inside
after
backers.
Yeah, exactly. With the inside backers, but let's watch the end of this game. The Bears are talking about what they're going to do here with 16 seconds left, 3rd down and 9. They have gone through all of their timeouts, so it's Hail Mary time, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm behind you. I just saw the catch.
Yeah, I mean, you have more than enough time to get one on the sideline, but
yeah,
16 seconds left.
But you got to have an accurate quarterback for that. All right, I am ahead of you guys, so I will tell you that this.
Would you line up?
Pass
get a first down, clock it, and then let this kid get one more effort with pressure on.
6, 5, 4, 3. He got it picked up the first down, and with 1 second left, and the ball.
Bring on Pinheiro.
It's a 4-point game.
So what?
No, you got to go for it.
This is scrimmage time. Let's put some pressure on this fucking guy.
They clocked it with 1 second?
Yes.
All right, we're way behind you.
Nagy and Ragon are actually arguing in the sideline as to what they
really.
should do.
I don't want the call. No, you take it. No, I'm not.
I want to go back to the.
Aldo, you got to give us the play-by-play here. It's only 1 second.
That was Horsted again, Shane, making a nice catch. But let me say this about the Ragon thing.
Oh my God.
You want to help your.
This is bad. They're going to get a delay of game penalty. There'll be a 10-second runoff.
And that's the game.
And that is the game. What is going on? I got the volume down, so I don't know exactly what's going down. But yeah, they have called a delay of game flag.
My God.
But they're not running off 10 seconds. Tyler Bray is very
upset. The clock was stopped because of the incomplete. I think you can't run off 10.
Oh, okay.
So listen to this.
Yeah, because the clock, you get the 10 seconds.
Only if it was moving. Then
listen to Gandia's reaction. It's good. Can't be good.
They're going for it instead of what I would have done as a coach, and I would have answered all those questions. I'm like, listen, I'm preparing for Green Bay. I want to know if this fucking kicker.
Holy cow! Look at this! Oh my gosh! Oh! No! Yes! Oh!
Is it Horsted?
Aldo's in his bedroom, really.
I take it we won.
Matt Nagy is leaving the field, and he is laughing his ass off. Let me just say that. I'll let you guys do the play-by-play because I'm terrible at it.
Go ahead. The Titans are in a prevent defense. The Vic Fangio, all of us in the end zone. The Bears run a bubble screen. They got big guys in front, Shane. Look at Bars. He flips it back. I can't believe this. Tell me this is not going in the end zone. It's still alive, and they're. No.
That was fun, though.
The end zone.
Aldo just had an orgasm for that. I thought we scored.
It was a fun play.
Yeah.
It was. For me, it was another episode of premature ejaculation.
Sorry for being a dick, but I am a dick.
All right, let's move on to the inside linebacker positions and draft. Dr. Phil will take us there.
All right, so I have the obvious here, and we said it to start the show. A couple of little gems in here. Roquan Smith, obviously, and Danny T. You really getting tremendous football players at that position in the whole entire league.
Really?
And yeah. Kevin Pierre-Louis, I have making this 53. I just, watching him on tape and his downhill steps and his ability, I just don't think you can get that special teams prowess and inside linebacker play.
He didn't play today, so that's a good sign, right?
Yeah, I think it is. I really like that kid. Iebunaway, our boy with the song. I believe he's going to make the roster. again, I think this kid's a little wet behind the ear in regards to the NFL and what have you, but I just think his talent his ceiling is so high. And I believe his floor is high. He's just a tremendous athlete. So you get that kind of football player playing inside, you're cooking with gas, and I think he'll offer a lot on special teams. And then you got the guy that, I don't know. He's somebody I just think they're going to keep around because he's great inside the red zone versus the run. He's a liability in coverage, but I felt like last week he really came to play. I focused in on him on the tape never lies this week, and that's your boy Nick Kwiatkowski. I have him making the team. So those are my inside backers.
It's one of those positions that there's going to be a lot of interesting choices and discussions about that. Shane, why don't you take the discussion further?
So I have Danny Trevathan, Roquan Smith, Nick Kwiatkowski, Joel Iyiegbuniwe, and Kevin Pierre-Louis. And I have my boy Fat Josh getting thrown to the scrap heap and hoping that they can add him back to the practice squad because he's the perfect type of guy that you want there on your practice squad. I mean, he's shown some ability to stay with guys in coverage. He's an explosive athlete, and I think he's still trying to figure out the linebacker position. So I think that they want to. There's been people that are saying that Iyiegbuniwe maybe he's a 4th-round draft pick, and he's 1 year in.
Mm-hmm. It's just
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yep.
I don't think there's a chance in hell. I mean, an explosive guy like that, yeah, he's got to learn some stuff, but. Kevin Pierre-Louis is a guy that can fill in a snap. If like Phil said, Danny goes down. He's a guy that can give you solid play on special teams. And if he takes nothing but special teams snaps for the entire year, you know what he's going to do? He's going to be a pro at it. Yeah. You're never going to hear him complain. He could be a guy that makes the Pro Bowl as a special teamer. Remember there used to be the day, there used to be Brendan Iambandejo, and then
what was the other here?
Tim
Wilson?
Shaw.
Tim Shaw. Wilson.
Rod Wilson, yeah, all these guys. So those guys are important, and Pierre-Louis, I think, fits that mold perfectly, but it pains me to keep Woods off this roster. I think he just needs some more seasoning.
Yeah, you hit it on the head with Woods, and I'm sorry, Aldo. He was a guy that I want because I feel like his upside is tremendous. But a drafted player and a kid like Iyiegbuniwe, I feel like is hitting his stride. And Josh made too many errors in open field situations where you're the inside backer. You got to finish that, especially in these preseason games. You're missing these guys. Wait till you play the top shelf drinks coming at you. So you gotta have but Shane, he learns on the practice squad.
Yep.
Learns to be a pro, and his dynamic athleticism as well as the weight he put on, he could be something special and something developed here.
He's gonna have to make his hay if he made the 53 on special teams. I just think Kevin Pierre-Louis is better at that right now while you're in this Super Bowl window.
Is there any audio of Ryan Badgley, a.k.a. what was his name? The Abominable Snowman? What was our Yukon Cornelius?
Yes, yeah.
Do we have any Roy Robinson Harris?
No, I should have pulled that because we were talking about that yesterday after the Draft Not Dad show.
That's all we've talked about. Shane texts me. I got like 12 texts from Barfly. What do you think of Bad saying Roy Robinson?
I sent him a GIF GIF, whatever people say, and it says, "Oh, honey, what is you doing?" when he said that,
like tailgate show, Jesus.
I'm just trying to throw something at the wall and see if it sticks.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing that sticks with this team. Like both of you agreed, it's Joel Iyiegbuniwe.
My bar fly and your bar fly, sitting in the draft room. My bar fly told your bar fly, we gotta get after the passer. My bar fly and your bar fly, sitting in the draft room. My bar fly told your bar fly, we gotta get after the passer. Talk about Iggy Abunawaye. We got Iggy, we got Iggy Abunawaye. Talk about Iggy Abunawaye. We got Iggy, we got Iggy Abunawaye. My rhyme pace and your GM arguing in the draft room. Ryan Pace said to your GM, we gotta get after the passer. Talk about Iggy Abunawaye. We got Iggy, we got Iggy Abunawaye. Talk about Iggy Abunawaye. We got Iggy, we got Iggy Abunawaye. We got the linebacker from Western Kentucky. Almost everyone turned around and said, who the fuck is he? He said Iggy so fast and so physical. Had to call Nagy back in the room, the shit is biblical. The nasty Nigerian linebacker that's pre-med. Hardo told the field, make the tackles, that's what she said. Grab water in the ballroom jukebox and pick a tune to play. 2018, the year of Abunawaye. Iggy Abunawaye. Talking about Iggy Abunawaye. We got Iggy, we got Iggy Abunawaye. Talk about Iggy Abunawaye. Talk about Iggy Abunawaye.
Why is that one of my favorite Draft Dr. Phil songs? Phil, do you know why?
Because you know Iggy, and when he came on, he loved it too, and you don't want to get him upset.
I was at a gas station in West Virginia on my way home from Outer Banks, and the Bears were on the clock, and I kept on fucking refreshing Twitter while I was walking to the bathroom, and I'm like, they're going to take Josh Sweat here, the pass rusher.
Yeah,
and then,
remember?
Yeah, so I was heading into the bathroom, and Riley was there with me. So he grabbed my phone. He's like, Daddy, they just drafted somebody, but I can't pronounce his name. And I'm like, give me the phone. And I looked at it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I texted Phil. I'm like, dude, I got fucking nothing. I don't know who this kid is.
I still remember. I have audio of that. He's like,
fuck you, dude.
He's so pissed at base. Yeah, that's a good song. It's a fun song.
It's a very, very, very fun song. All right, let's move on back to our 53-man roster. We're now moving to the defensive backfield. We'll start with the corners. Shane, why don't you continue?
This, again, was easy for me. Kyle Fuller, Prince Amukamara, Buster Screen, Kevin Tolliver, and Duke Shelley. I saw Lester sent out a friggin' tweet tonight and says he thinks that the Bears are going to keep 4 cornerbacks.
4?
4?
What? No way.
What?
I don't see that either.
Lester who? Lester Wolfong?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I
he
don't
said
know.
I just don't see that. I know everybody got excited about Clifton Duck, probably a great kid, but maybe he's a guy that you can put on the practice squad, but I don't think they're going to move off of Duke Shelley. Buster Screen is going to surprise people. Phil's been on him for a long time. You know, he's relentless. He's not big in stature, but he's not going to back down to anybody. And you're going to see this kid blow some people up Thursday night, and you're going to be like, whoa, who the hell was that? And yeah, Buster Screen right there. So, yeah, to me, it was pretty straightforward with the cornerbacks. After Shelley and Tolliver, I think it's guys, they'll keep a couple on the practice squad, or maybe even look outside to see if they can bring in somebody that they know can play outside, and maybe try to stash them on the practice squad. But like I said, Fuller, Mukamara, Screen, Tolliver, and Shelley make my 53 at corner.
Would you be surprised if Shelley was cut so that they can put him on the practice squad?
I would be. Yep.
Okay. Phil, you surprised?
I know Phil's thoughts there, but yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't?
I honestly was having trouble here. So do you want me to give you my corners and then I could tell you?
Si, amigo.
Okay, so Shane and I were close. I kept an extra corner. I have Fuller, Amukamara, Screen, Shelley, and I kept Tolliver and Duck. And I think because Duck, to me, has outplayed Shelley.
He has.
And I see that toughness and swagger that I want in a nickel corner. And if I can unleash a competition between those two and a brotherhood forms with Screen, then I'm getting extra value because I think this kid Duck lives for the money. He's just around he reminds me of a little bit of Mike Brown. There's something like you can't coach that he's around the football type of guy. I don't mean like
he reminds me of Callahan.
Yeah, he's a Callahan Brown type of guy. I just think this kid Duck is too valuable to let go. You can't find corners. Shelley, to me, he's good, but he's thinking, and his physicality comes into question sometimes. Where Duck, to me, I really, if you're not playing the political draft capital value that the nerds do, then you're saying best player wins, and you've created that culture, then I think Duck has played himself on the roster.
Thank you. I am totally with you. I don't know who to compare Clifton Duck to, but I will tell you this. I have seen this kid at Bourbonnais do a tremendous job of closing in on the ball just when you think he has been beat. Oh, man, Duck. Holy shit, he came up with an interception. He just has this unbelievable knack that within a second or two of him getting beat, a fraction of a second, I should say, of him getting beat, all of a sudden he finds another gear to get to the ball and get his hands on it or even come up with an interception. He's got really good hands. I really like this kid. Now, I have also seen him get burned. I've also seen him make rookie mistakes. So I'm not saying that, this guy's going to come in, he's going to be a pro bowler in his first season. No.
Right.
But he's got these gifts that, oh my gosh, he's got to make this roster. He's got to the Bears have to figure out a way to keep this kid somehow, some way.
I totally agree with you.
I can easily see him on the roster. I mean, it's just it's pass rushers and cover corners.
Right.
You never have enough of them.
I hear you.
Especially on defense. And this guy loves defensive backs. Does Duck hit? This
that's a great
Duck
point that I didn't even think about. Pagano's a DB guy. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So Pagano loves his DBs.
You see this kind of talent, and you could develop it when it's young like this with this kind of team. I'm the GM. I'm keeping Duck on this roster.
Here's an interesting little nugget that Prince Amukamara was on All Access. They brought up and they were asking him about practices and stuff like that. He talked about Duck making plays in practice, as a guy that stood out. And the other guy that they talked on, and Jeff Joniak actually took it a little bit further with this guy that I'm going to mention now, and it shocked the hell out of me. Matthew Betts, he talked about. Really standing out. He said the kid is absolutely relentless. There's no stopping him. But I haven't seen that in the game.
I've not seen it once.
That's what I'm saying. So I had something like that. There's got to be something there.
Maybe that.
So is that a guy that you
squad?
Yeah, that you bring a guy like that to the practice squad, but
wasn't he the third pick in the Canadian draft
in CFL? Yeah, but he said he was all about the NFL, no matter what. But it's I can easily see them carrying another guy because who knows what's going to happen with Prince. I mean, shit, anything can happen. Injuries happen, and you think that you can stash a cover corner on the practice squad. You look up there and boom, Duck is quacking up in Lambeau, and who knows?
There you go. Let's see if we can hear a little bit of Laura Screeden interviewing Kyle Long after the game.
Season is officially over. Being out here under the lights tonight, how pumped are you for 1 week from today?
Well, it was so much fun tonight just to get to hang out, watch a game, see a lot of great players compete, but then just to be here and to experience the atmosphere and think about what it's going to be like in 7 days, 6 nights, whatever it is. It's going to be incredible, and we're so excited about it.
Has it felt like forever between training camp and preseason and all that?
Yeah, Coach said it was 37 days since we had one of our first meetings, and that kind of hit
Who's
home.
counting, right?
It hit home with me. I mean, I hadn't been counting. We stacked a lot of good days, and we're ready to get started and get things being official now.
How proud are you of the guys tonight, though, who are out here fighting for a roster spot?
So proud of all these guys. People don't understand, how tough this game is and how much these guys are putting into it. They're separated from their families, and a lot of them staying in a hotel, not sure where they're going to be tomorrow, but they're coming out here and they're playing as hard as they can for the guys around them.
What does this week look like for you guys?
Just getting ready to go play the Packers. Can't tell you all the secrets, Lauren,
I know you can't, but there were a lot of awesome fans here tonight. Do you have a message for the fans who are going to be here next week?
We're going to show up, and we're going to be loud, and you guys better be loud, and we know it's going to be a great night, and we're excited about it.
Great. Thanks, Kyle.
Kyle Long and the Bears don't have to worry about the fans being loud because Draft Dr. Phil is going to be there, and he's going to lead all the cheers.
I'm going to have to try to remember to not lose my voice.
Yes, because we got a show afterwards.
We got a show after.
Well, I shouldn't say friend of the show. Part of our show, whenever he wants to be. Dan Aguirre just texted us, Phil. Tweet from Matt
pop up.
Yeah, Eddie Pinheiro said that he'd like to practice at Soldier Field during the week if the Bears will let him. Ooh. So fuck you, Cody Parkey.
I love what he just said. That is good.
Before we move off of the kicker,
yeah,
totally shanked the extra point. Mm-hmm. Redeemed himself, with the 3 field goals. But man, do I love seeing that kid get pumped up and the enthusiasm. And you just don't see that from kickers. And I think that shit counts. I think, you talk about the swag and the nothing is too big. And not saying that Soldier Field isn't a huge monster, but I want a kid that's got some balls.
Right.
And he does. Tim Tebow, you're 15. I'll take that fucking jersey. Mm-hmm. I'm a kicker, and I'll take that fucking jersey. I love that. I love to see him get out there, bounce back, and.
How many times have we seen in How many times have we seen in Chicago football a player fuck up?
Yeah.
And then they collapse and they cave mentally.
Cody Parkey looked like he was going to shit his pants walking onto the field, and it didn't matter if it was in week 4 or if it was in the playoffs versus the Eagles. He always looked like he was scared shitless.
We were on Shy Fans in the Stands talking about Pinheiro, me and Shane, with the great Greg Braggs and the man, the myth, the Las Vegas legend, Joey Two Scoops. And we were saying if this Pinheiro misses 2 kicks, he's out.
Yeah.
For another kicker. He starts the game knowing that I fucking shanked that ball so far left.
He damn near put his plant foot on the fucking ball if you watch that.
Well, you're right.
He totally fucked up his delivery.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Al.
I was just going to say that my feeling is that he was so pumped up, so psyched, that he tried to hit that ball way too hard. Now, I don't know a lot about kicking, but I've often heard that it's a lot like your golf stroke, and I know a lot about golf stroke. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when I go up there and I try to kill the ball, I fucking hit it golf ball just like that football looked, and it goes way to the left. I think
I've done a lot of stroking in my life, and if I beat it the wrong way, it hurts like hell. I miss too.
Here's Allen Robinson leaving the field at Soldier Field in this 11-second clip.
Chicago Bears fans, man, thank you for your support this season. Ready to get this thing started, man. Let's get it, Bears fans. Let's get it.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it. I'm so fucking pumped up. You got me even more pumped up now. Just bringing up that I'm gonna be there. The 100th year, the oldest rivalry. I fucking hate the Packers. I'm on the beach, and this little cute kid, comes walking down the beach with a fucking Packer football. I go, not on this beach right here. Him and his dad look at. We got all Bears fans there, all wearing. They're like, oh, they fucking moved down the beach. I started throwing deep balls right at him. That's how my son learns. Real quick, I'll tell you this story. It's funny. So, you know how your kids, they want everything. And if you don't give it to them at this age, a toddler, they're going to say something smart back to you. Well, Devin, he didn't want to wear something. And I'm like, you got to wear it. And he's like, I'm not wearing it. And he's talking. I go, you don't talk back to your father. And he got scared. And he goes, smart ass answer. He's like, I'm going to wear Packer socks. Just to get on my skin. He knows. So that's how dreaded everybody know. I hate to be there, Aldo. It's going to be so exciting. And to finally see, the cape torn off the Batmobile so we could see it. Mm-hmm. And see this offense and see Khalil Mack and the real, preseason, man. Oh,
yep.
I live for preseason, but this one for me was tough because at least we used to get a little glimpse of the shiny object.
Right.
Now this year we didn't get shit, except we got a little David Montgomery taste.
We got that. That's for sure. And I think we got a little bit of a taste of what future preseasons are going to look like. There's no way that after this preseason that the NFL is going to continue to have 4 preseason games. Somebody, I forgot which writer wrote this. I think it was Phil Rosenthal.
Nagy just went live, Aldo.
Okay, let's go to him.
Let me say this while you're getting that up.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I was texted by a coach in the NFL because I'm like, what the fuck is this preseason? He's like, this is the coach's way of telling the commissioner, fuck you.
Exactly.
Shorten it now. You're so open about safety, but yet you're not cutting this down.
Exactly.
Like everybody wants it.
Great point. Here's Nagy at the podium.
Packers game with him as your kicker.
Well, we're going to continue to work through it right now. We have a couple days here, and part of that answer right now from what I've seen is I've liked what I've seen. So one of the things is, so he comes out and he misses that extra point, and right away everyone, we all one of those deals of here we go again. But what I thought was pretty powerful is that he came back and made the next kick, and then made 2 more after that. So we talk about it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I like the fact that he came back and made those. It would have been nice there at the end of the half too to maybe get one a little bit longer, but that's how it goes. As part of, we learn as a team that the false start there can take 10 seconds off the clock, so that's a teaching moment for us. So I like what he's done so far, and I'm proud of the kid.
And you talked about knowing that he's not going to make every kick.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of, if he is your kicker in week 1, how much patience you're going to need to have with him in the
right. So for me, if he ends up being our kicker week 1, then I will definitely have some patience, because if you don't, then there's that stat that I think I mentioned to y'all before, and I don't know if you all went and dug up who those kickers were, but there's some interesting numbers with kickers that have struggled coming out of the gates that are now Hall of Famers and Pro Bowl kickers. And so if I don't have patience at that position, I really think we're chasing the cat's tail, and that's not what I'm feeling. That's not what I'm all about, and I know our coaches aren't about that. So there's going to be a little bit of patience, but there's got to be a method, I think, in being able to build trust with him and him build trust with us if it's him.
Were you tempted there at the end to kick the field goal, even though it wouldn't have won the game?
You know what? That's an interesting question. I wasn't, because I didn't even think about that, because you're trying to win the game, so you don't even think about it. It would have been weird to do that because you're kicking a field goal to lose, so that's why I'm kind of glad it didn't cross my mind, because you guys would be questioning the hell out of me.
What about the 50-yarder though that you passed on fourth down?
So that goes back to last week too, and so Tabes and I, every week we come out to that number, and for us we were 2 yards, and those are the ones when you're 2 yards past the number that he gives you at halftime, you really want to take a chance and kick it, but we're testing ourselves, meaning Tabor and myself, sticking to that number that we talk about before the game and at halftime. We have to stick to that. And so if that's where he feels, we were essentially, to get long story longer, we were basically playing it like a game. And if that was in a game in week 3, we weren't going to kick that field goal there. That's just where we were at. That depth was just 2 yards outside of what our number was.
What went into having Aaron Lynch play into the second quarter tonight?
His was more of just a reps thing. He hasn't had a lot of volume with reps, so a little bit of conditioning, seeing what he could do. And I watched a few plays of him, and, he had that batted ball, but just to be able to see where he's at conditioning-wise and then where he's at just playing.
Where is that?
I think he's, I think he had right around 15 plays today, and our number was around 15 to 20. So we'll see. Again, I want to watch the tape and see exactly how he looked along with some other guys.
What do you think about how Dave Ragone called the offense?
He did a great job. Yeah, he did a really good job. And this is a great opportunity for us as coaches to learn and to have. It's not always that easy, and it's getting into personnel and trying to look one play ahead. But I thought he did a really good job, and it was very fluid. There wasn't any confusion, and it's nice too. He has the luxury of working with Tyler every day, so that communication process was good.
Why do you like doing that?
Why do I?
Yeah, why do you like letting him do it?
Well, we did it with Mark last week too. So, and then we even in the end of the third quarter and start of the fourth quarter, we had other coaches call too today. So yeah, so you just give them a chance to. They had a series each, and it's not fair because you're trying to, for them, I'm telling them, hey, I want to see this or I want to see that, and so it's not really normal. But you're letting your guys. It's to me in the real world, it's continuing ed. So you're letting your coaches grow, and even if it's a few plays or a few series, I think it can be really good for the long haul of their careers.
Is that something that Andy did with you?
No, Coach did not do that in the preseason. I don't know if he's doing it the last 2 years. That wasn't something that he did. I just, and then for me too, it allows me to step back and I can just let them do their thing and watch some players on my own, kind of get a feel of what's going on, and it's just a different perspective. But my continuing ed is reading books in the off season, and passing the ball is giving responsibility to other people and not trying to be in control of everything.
How happy are you where the team is at? Obviously the starters didn't play in the preseason, but in terms of now you can finally turn the page and look 100% at Green Bay.
Right. Yeah, that's difficult, that balance of trying to make sure you don't take away from the young kids of getting their valuable reps, because we just had a tough conversation in there that, hey, the next couple of days are going to be difficult. That's a part of life. 90 players down to 53 plus a couple for practice squad. So, but I like where we're at. I thought we had a really good training camp. We grew as a team. We grew as a family. We got better. And now the true test is going to be with our starters, making sure that we understand the length of this season and seeing where we're at. It's going to start here September 5th.
Man, Jesper Horst said it's going to be on the fringe of the roster no matter what he does in a fourth preseason game. But what kind of impression did what he did tonight make on you as the head coach?
Well, he makes plays. He did a good job of being consistent with. You can see he does well with catching the football. He still has a ways to go in regards to trying to become a better blocker and learning what routes to run in the pass game. He's very, very raw, and so. But like you said, it is a fourth preseason game, and it's nice to see guys flash and to see him make some. He made a nice play last week in the touchdown, but he was injured there too for a little bit. So, but he had a good game today.
You got what you needed to see out of Alex Bars at left tackle today?
I did, yeah. I didn't get to watch him as much as I'm excited to check it out later on tonight, pop it on and see how those guys did. But I felt like overall, in general, the pocket for Tyler was pretty good. He had a lot of green grass there to throw.
Matt, as you solidify the tight end position, how do you differentiate between somebody like Jesper versus Bradley, and what are the key factors into making those decisions there?
Well, they're all a little bit different in what they bring to the table. Whether that's the wide tight end, the U tight end, are they developmental? Are they young? Do they have experience? Where are they at? And we kind of have a little bit of everything right now. So what Ryan and I will have to go back and decide. Okay. What direction do we want to go? Do we see somebody that has a high ceiling? Do we see somebody that we think we can work with more or not? And if we do, then we'll try to develop that. That's what we want to try to develop these players and create our own stars.
Now, from the outside, it seems like you only have maybe a couple of jump balls in terms of roster spots to give out.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say about the depth that you guys have put together, about the job Ryan's done in collecting players? In years past, there have been a lot more questions going into this cut.
Sure. No, I think for us, we're in a really, really good place right now in the depth of our roster in a lot of different, and that's part of the reason why I feel like we're a little bit different than other teams and why we could do this here in the preseason. With trying to see who our backups are in a lot of spots. So that's a credit to Ryan. Ryan's done an amazing job at making sure that he has a plan, and then he communicates that plan to his personnel staff. He communicates the plan with us as coaches. We talk through it, and just to see what he's done from when he got here to right now, and you look at that roster, right now with what he's done, it's pretty amazing.
How many roster spots of those 53 would you say are in any doubt at this point?
In what?
In any doubt. How many of those 53 roster spots are still up?
I don't know if I know an exact number. I just know this, that there are a couple spots throughout this roster that we know, without getting into detail or giving it away, we know that.
I'm having some buffering problems here. He should be back any second here. Hold on.
We either need to get better there, or we're going to have to make a decision on keeping those guys and trying to develop. There are a couple of those spots, and so really tonight and then tomorrow morning for us, we're going to have some good conversations as to what's best for the Chicago Bears. And then I was just asked this question earlier. The numbers for rosters, having these. You got to have this amount of these guys, this amount of this position, this amount. We're going to try our best to keep our best players, and if you do that, then it allows you to I think get better as the years go on.
Now that this part of the process is over, and I know you haven't had time to reflect, but what's the best way to kind of say what your confidence is in Trubisky's preparedness for the regular season?
No, I feel really, really good with where he's at. I know that he's worked really hard, even just this past week, for us being able to see and in meetings, just seeing where he's grown from, I think about last year to this year, where he was at in the questions that he's asking me and the questions that he's asking Rags and Coach Helfrich. So we'll see. We'll see when he's put to the test. We won't really know that until we get going. But I've ultimate confidence in where he's at, and I'm excited to see what this year's going to bring for him.
Matt, going back to Eddie for a second, the alternative now is somebody who hasn't been here, who hasn't worked with your guys.
Yeah.
What value do you put on just knowing Eddie? Knowing how he responds to coaching, just your experience with him, as opposed to a guy that you'd be getting cold.
Right. No, so with Eddie's situation. He's been with us now for a while. He's had a lot of kicks. He's been through a lot of different challenges that we've given him. And to his credit, he's worked through and fought through all that. No matter how we handled it, however we decided to handle the way we went, he got through it all. And I told you guys that the true test is gonna be the games in the preseason. And I don't know his exact numbers, but I think he missed one field goal.
Kicks overall.
But yeah, one extra point, one field goal, and then he hit the 58-yarder, and I think but I think their guy missed an extra point tonight the same direction. So and he's been I was with him in Kansas City. He's a good kicker, and he's been kicking for a while. So so to go back to your question, there is some. I mean, that would be a major concern, I think, if you go get somebody to come in here that's never kicked in here or doesn't have that experience. We've fought through to this point right now, and I like where he's at. We'll discuss it and decide, is that the route we want to go, and if it is, then we just need to have a little bit of patience. But I'll go back to, I want to see a great success story from this kid, and I think hopefully we all do. And hopefully he's somebody that we end up going with, and then we stick with, and then he wins us games. But the next couple of days here, a lot of stuff can happen, so you just never know. So I hate to say, well, we're going to.
Come on, Coach, finish your thought.
Oh, but it was 2 kicks. It was 2 kicks. You hear the reporter?
Thanks, Rich.
It was 2 kicks there.
Rich
Coach.
Campbell.
He had to come. Coach comes back. He's like, one was an extra point. Did you see how defensive he was for Pinheiro?
Yep.
He was like defending him.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's all you need to know right there. He echoed what Shane and I were saying about Pinheiro that we were talking about before the guy came on, his swagger. I like the fact that he persevered when he, like I said earlier, seen the mental breakdowns of Bears players many times.
That's bad news.
Remember Todd Sauerbrunn? Oh, there he is.
Shane is referring to the fact that the icon of Steven Zimmerman has popped up on our Skype machine, and
he is an icon.
The avatar, and now we are actually seeing Steven Zimmerman, who has a hat on. He's wearing glasses. He no longer has the green-colored hair, the fluorescent green-colored hair that he had last season when I met him. He looks like a normal young 20-ish young man. He looks
a millennial.
He looks like a studious millennial with the glasses and the pose. He's been doing his homework. He's dying and itching to share his 53-man roster with us, but we're going to keep him on mute for a while longer. Keep him waiting.
Yes. You are listening to Bears Barroom Radio.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Zimmerman. That was the smartest thing that you said.
Zimmerman has developed a very strong Mexican accent over the last several months. Hey, Zim, don't say anything, but on the camera, can you please show us your girlfriend? Does she want to be on camera? She doesn't want to be on camera. Well, goodbye, Steven.
What's the coat hanger behind him?
Yeah, usually he has.
I was like, everyone's got a bear something.
Yeah, that's where he puts his Trubisky jersey on, but he's decided to wear it instead. Either that or he's
get him a frame.
Either that or he's performing an abortion on somebody. I actually edited that joke before it came out of my mouth. So,
that was not Shane Marshall.
Anything wrong with that? No, of course not.
There's a lot of that shit going on.
All right, yes, I do want Zim to share his 53-man roster, but first let us finish with Shane and Phil's. I think we were now on to the safeties. We finished with the cornerbacks. Let's talk about that. But before we do, anything regarding what Nagy said there outside of Pinheiro, who clearly has made the team, unless Stephen Gostkowski is going to hit the waiver wire. Anything else regarding what Nagy said at the press conference that caught your ear?
I was the defending of the kickers and really echoing what Shane and I were talking about. Like, you wanted to see him persevere.
Right.
The biggest thing that stood out to me was Potash saying, "Where's your confidence in Mitch Trubisky?"
Yeah, that was very bizarre.
I'm like, what are you? Is that's your fucking question?
Yeah, that's
really
very bizarre.
What's your confidence?
I'm like, oh my
well, if I
God.
had none, he'd be out there fucking playing.
Right.
Because I would want to fucking wake his ass up.
Yes, exactly.
These guys get paid for this.
Oh my
This is like those guys that fucking play fantasy football for the first time. Start fucking picking all bears.
It's like those
every
Greg
round they
Braggs.
pick a bear.
Greg Bragg's drafted like what, 4 bears? Isn't he?
I have no idea.
Tooch drafted Andrew Luck.
Here's what stood out to me. Aaron Lynch is making the team. So if Zim, if you don't have him on your 53, then you better adjust. Clearly he was just in there. He started the game for conditioning purposes, like you guys had mentioned earlier. That really stood out to me. There's just no question. And I also just got the feeling that outside of 2 or 3 roster spots, they know exactly.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
All of the decisions. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if I have if I actually have an actual number. Yeah. Well, yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I don't really have a number. I just want to say that
He knows.
everybody performed great tonight.
Whoever performed well tonight had 0 bearing on the 53. It had nothing to do with the roster.
Roster spot that they were wanting.
Even then, I think it's a stretch. I think it's set.
They're also isolating, and everyone forgets this, the practice squad.
Yeah, that's
what I want to know. Who are we investing in? Like this kid Banfield from Brown. As Shane pointed out, Charlie Brown. Fuck you, dude. I can't do your voice yet. Fuck you, dude. He has a weird. Fuck you, dude. But yeah, that kid, you could bring him on the practice squad. I want to see more of him. So that's why these games are played, to try to find the talent. And to your credit, Aldo, great point earlier about Greg Gabriel and that whole league, the XFL. We might have to have him on just to explain some of the things I didn't even realize. Like, one thing is the scouting departments scout for the whole XFL, even though they're scouting for their team. So everybody gets the information, and then they pool the draft. So it's very different. So it's going to be cool, but you're exactly right. That could be the developmental league, and clearly they're going to be watching all these cuts that come up, because they're not just going to be rookies that are cut.
Exactly. All right, give us Phil. Give us the safeties you think are going to make this roster.
Well, as the GM, this was my plan. Now I'm going to do a move here that I wanted to explain. So, being the GM of the Bears.
Daniel Braverman can't play safety, you asshole.
So I'm taking, obviously, our guys, Jackson and Dix. Clinton Dix. And then I'm keeping the Deion Bush, who I thought has played
excellent.
Like, he's improved.
Yes.
I mean, I'm so excited. I can give 30 minutes on Deion Bush.
Let me ask you a question while you're on him.
Yeah.
Do you go and offer him a modest 1-year extension?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
I think that's good business.
Hell yes.
I like the move. I really do. Again, there's a lot of great players that I'm seeing, and players that are making this team that I believe. But the one guy that's really impressed me beyond everything else because of development has been Deion Bush. And
Ryan Pace pointed him out as having one of the best off seasons.
Yeah, gun to my head, I would have never picked Deion Bush to be the most improved football player. So, fucking shout out to Deion fucking Bush.
Yeah.
Because you really worked on your craft. You got a little taste, last year and you said, fuck this, I could be better than Eddie Jackson. That's what you want. I was so proud of Deion Bush. So hopefully that he ascends even further. So now, as the GM, I'm going to make a move. So I'm going to cut and waive Nick Williams. I was holding him. And then I'm going to keep Houston Carson and use him on this roster and bring him back. So I'm going to cut and keep Abdullah, waive Nick Williams, and bring Houston Carson onto. I'm keeping Houston Carson, basically.
All right, so you've got 4 safeties, correct? Jackson,
Yes.
Haha, Bush, and Houston Carson.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, Shane, are you with him on there?
Close. I'm close.
It's close.
Close. This is Houston Carson verse.
I have Eddie Jackson, Clinton Dix, Deion Bush, and I talked about this guy earlier. Sherrick McManus. I think he's on this roster for experience. He can. You go out and bust your screen, gets dinged up. You can slide him in there, play him at safety, and I also have DeAndre Houston Carson on this roster.
So you have. Okay, that's where you kept your extra.
Yep.
So instead of the corner,
I had Nick Williams off because I think he's a guy that you can bring him back unguaranteed salary.
That's what I was thinking too. And that's why I'm keep him, cut him, bring back. That's. I was just trying to play the role of. GM.
So like on my team, my core special teamers are McManus, Houston Carson. While Duke Shelley would be a part of that, Kevin Pierre-Louis, Iggy, and Kwiatkowski would be my main special teamers.
All right. Now, did you guys keep track of the number of players? You guys didn't go over 53, did you?
No. I have 53 exactly.
Because Steven Zimmerman, who was patiently waiting in the green room here at the Bears Bar Room, he was in the chat room earlier, and he made the allegation that he thought that Phil had like 60 players on his roster.
I got 53. I can hold it up for you.
Oh, good. All right. Well, without further ado, let's pull Steven Zimmerman out of the green room. He's been vaping.
Wait, which long snapper are we keeping?
Patrick Scales.
There's no question about that. And there's no question that O'Donnell's your kicker, so that's 52.
O'Donnell's your punter.
And
you're keeping Pinheiro too, Aldo?
Fucking A. I've been keeping him for weeks now. I like the guy's moxie. I like his leg strength. I know there's going to be some imperfections, but he's going to be right up there in his rookie year. He's going to be right up there in the middle of the pack in terms of field goal percentages. And as his career goes on, I think he will ascend and be probably, definitely top 10 and maybe top 5 kickers in the NFL. I really have it's a gut feeling clearly. But it's a good gut feeling about this.
Vedvik missed another kick from Minnesota tonight. He was 0 for 3 so far.
0 for 3.
And I am so glad that is happening because, how do I put this nicely? Fuck you, all those people who were razzing Ryan Pace for not pulling the trigger on that trade. You don't even fucking know what a Vedvik is. And you guys wanted him so goddamn much. Hey, I've had a couple of drinks tonight, so I'm just going to let loose here. There are so many people who go on Twitter and make these fucking statements about players that they know nothing of. They read a headline and a paragraph from a story, and they think that this Vedvik guy or this player or that coach or this or that, and they're just convinced that that's the answer to the problem. You haven't even done the fucking research, It doesn't
do your research.
Doesn't it bother you guys too?
I think it bothers George.
Oh my God! Barelyssimo's boy.
That was his boy.
That was his state cap.
All right,
Well,
Zim,
I
come
does
on
go
out here,
crazy.
man. I got a challenge for you, Steven Zim Zimmerman, who has done some videos for us on our Bears YouTube channel and has been a longtime contributor to the Bears Barroom in many different ways. I got a challenge for you. I want you to present your 53-man roster, but I'm much more interested in how you're going to present it, with style and with grace and in an entertaining way. We've got 30 listeners right now in the chat room, and if at any point it gets down to 28 or less, I'm going to mute you, brother. So the pressure is on. Take it away, Steven Zim Zimmerman.
All right. Yeah, okay, no pressure.
28? 27?
No, what I was actually looking at with this 53-man roster is how our idea of it has changed from a month ago before the preseason to what it actually is now. And it's really interesting to me what we looked at and what we thought was going to be the talent on this roster and where it actually sits now, because Shane told me I was crazy for it, but I had 8 wide receivers on there.
Wow.
Obviously that's not going to happen, but when you look at where the talent on the team was and where we evaluated it before training camp even started, that's what we looked at. And,
So Shane was right, is what you're saying.
well, Shane was right there, but Shane was wrong in a sense that he said, I'm pretty sure you said I'd never be on 100 proof, so...
Well, that was I could have nixed that, Zim. I was trying to be nice.
I know you could have, but I'm pretty sure you invited me.
Zim, it might not last long.
No, I didn't invite you. You invited yourself.
Well, you didn't disagree.
We're not like you. We're grown-ups, motherfucker. Say hi to your dad.
Heart 4803 just announced that he's leaving the chat room, so you've just lost a listener.
All right, I gotta go make a burner to join the chat room real quick.
Go right ahead, brother.
All right, but yeah, looking at where we thought we were versus where we actually are, it's really interesting to me to see that the spots we thought we were thin, we're definitely thin on this roster, but not as thin as I think we were all worried about. Like at tight end, for example, everybody seemed scared that we weren't going to find the right guys, but obviously they've got the talent to carry 4 or 5 tight ends with Soul staying on the team. And I'm just kind of browsing through my list here. This kid Clifton Duck that none of us, I think, thought was gonna do anything before the preseason started. I've got him actually replacing Steven Denmark, a 7th-round draft pick on this roster, who I don't think we've seen anything from because I think he's been hurt.
He's an IR guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna stash him.
But then there's guys that we thought that we were gonna have, like where were they? Our outside linebackers. A lot of people were expecting Kylie Fitz to make that 2nd-year jump. Matthew Betts, like you guys just talked about earlier, very highly recruited guy, 3rd overall pick in the CFL draft. And it doesn't look like either of those guys are going to make the roster now. So we're going to have Isaiah Irving for another year. And James Vaughters has really stepped up and shown himself to be a formidable outside pass rusher for this team. So overall, my team's really not that much different from you guys, but I really do think it's interesting to look at where we thought it was going to be versus where it is, because when you've got 45 of these spots locked up in July, you don't know what's going to happen with those last couple.
Sit down, Waldo.
All right, now that everyone's asleep, I'll let you guys take back over.
Well, you actually got down to 25 listeners, but it does seem like the 25 who are still in there were interested in what you were saying, so that's why you're still with us. Shane, Phil, you guys want to comment on Zim's picks?
Who'd you keep at running back? Did you keep 3?
I kept the same 4 that you have, actually. Montgomery, Cohen, Davis, and White. Yeah, I don't think Nall makes the team. I think he's practice squad again. He's going to end up in a role like Tanner Gentry had, where he's that training camp standout, but he's just not good enough to make that final roster.
Was anyone surprised Gentry didn't play tonight? I didn't see him once out there.
No, yeah, he was. I think Greg tweeted out that he was dressed, but he didn't play.
Greg texted me, "What's going on?"
Yeah, I was in that. Yeah,
Tanner Gentry.
Well, and I got to tell you that Tanner Gentry looked really, really good in camp. He's definitely has improved his route running, but I don't see how there's any room to keep him on this squad.
Me either.
So I'm surprised that even if he's not going to make the team, I'm surprised that he didn't play so that way they could showcase him for some other team and that Williams Lambert got the start over him. I don't know what that's all about. I wish somebody in the media would have asked him that.
Yeah, I mean, he could have tweaked his ankle.
Correct. Exactly.
Who knows? It could be something as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that to me was curious because to Aldo's point, you would think he was all year on the practice squad.
Right.
Yeah.
And the year before he made the team. So now it's third year, final preseason, all these guys, he didn't play is a little quirky because I know they have to report injuries.
Yep. They do.
So Gentry to me, that's something I'm going to be interested in seeing. Do they bring him back or this kid? Because Ives, to me, there's something there. Both those two kids, Horsted and Ives, it's been evident to me on, Aldo sneaking a video or somebody sneaking a video at training camp practice. You see, the fucking Greg Braggs rule was in effect, so it's hard to get a spy or something to see these. But when you did, this kid, Ives, is making up, and then you see it in the games. So how do they take them back? Do they bring Tanner back? Practice squad? Obviously, you're correct, Aldo. He ain't making a team.
Right.
Hey, this is totally off Bears, but it's you guys seeing, I mean, I know they've been talking about it a little bit, but this potential trade with Clowney and Tunsil being the main.
Is Tunsil the main component?
Yeah.
That's what I've seen. I've seen that. And I think actually that might be a good trade for both teams.
They have a quote tonight. Laramie Tunsil said he wishes he could talk, but as of right now is not in a position to do so.
Which means he wants desperately out of Miami. That's a fucked up situation down there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He can't talk because he has the mask on.
the Bobby Phelan mask.
The Bobby Phelan mask.
Hey, Zim, what is it that you're smoking there with that vape? Is that regular tobacco?
Me? Yeah.
He's in Colorado.
Yeah.
Regular tobacco there.
I know, it's legal.
It's a
so
legal
if
state.
He's smoking regular tobacco too.
There he is. Look at him.
Shane is holding up a picture of Laramie Tunsil.
No, that's Aaron Lynch.
That's Aaron Lynch. Oh my gosh,
that was the picture we were talking about earlier.
Oh,
look at this guy.
He showed up to photo day looking like that.
He's high and hungover.
Oh my God!
That's what Two Scoops is going to look like in about 6 hours.
All right, guys. What else you want to talk about?
Sociopathic, psychopathic.
You want to pull the plug on tonight's show? How long have we been on the air now?
A long time.
2.5
4 hours.
You guys working tomorrow?
No, I know. Yeah.
Shane is. Phil, you working?
I've been off, yeah. I've been off for the last 2 days. I had some doctor's appointments and stuff like that. But yeah, we're back at it tomorrow.
You want to get into a fight with Zim? I'll make for some
Let's
good
do
radio?
It. Do I want to?
Yeah.
I've never been beat up by a brony.
I thought we clarified that.
That's not vape, Aldo. It's glitter.
It's glitter. You guys have an interesting history. Steven Zim Zimmerman and Shane Marsaw have had an interesting history. There have been rumors that they don't get along with one another, that Shane has no respect for Zim. Zim has felt hurt by some of the things Shane has said about him and so forth. You guys want to clear the air? Is there anything to clear the air about? What's going on here?
It's all true.
It's the Bears bar room, man. It's nothing but ball busting.
Yeah, Zim likes to square dance. I'm kidding. Jesus, that was a low blow.
Yeah. Well, and let's be careful here. That's not Bears Barroom. That's 100 proof. A lot of people
That's true.
like to mistakenly identify the entire barroom for the stuff that happens here at 100 proof. It's 100 proof where the degenerates get together and offer insightful football analysis, but at the same time say totally inappropriate things. Which is why we welcome Steve Zimmerman here, because he has been the subject of some of the inappropriate things that we've said.
Come on, they're besties.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have their song.
There's only you in my life. The only thing that's bright.
Braggs is in the fucking chat room bragging that he's upped his diaper count.
Diaper 2019.
Yeah, I've found a really good strategy for not changing diapers. It's called not having fucking kids, but that's just me.
I was going to say it's not getting laid. Who just joined in?
I mean, that's part of it, too.
We are in the Braggs Mobile now. Greg Braggs is joining us. Greg, is it the same situation as last week? Is your wife driving you home?
No, this time. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, just making sure because I got my headphones and I wasn't sure if this would work. But yeah, no one would join me tonight. I'm the degenerate that goes to 4th preseason games that don't matter.
So Leonard Floyd just retired. Did you get the reaction from the crowd?
I know. That's what I was saying. I couldn't get no one to retire tonight. I was really hoping if Mariota would have retired tonight, I would have been ready this time. I would have been on the ball.
For those of you who don't know what Braggs is talking about, he was kicking himself for not
still am
for not getting more reaction from the folks in Indianapolis, because that's where he was last week, and he didn't get any reaction from fans about Luck's retirement.
And the tunnel shot. I'm sitting in the Bears tunnel in Indy, and I'm screaming at Chase Daniel, my love for Chase. And one of the most iconic moments in NFL history is at the other tunnel, and Greg's in the Bears tunnel yelling, "Mitch, Mitch!" Come on, Greg, wake up.
Well, you've had so many home runs, so many, let's use football analogy. You've had so many touchdowns in your career as a podcaster, in your career as a Twitter communicator. You were bound to have one sack, one missed extra point, one double doink, and that was yours.
Yep. No, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so that's it. I missed that one, but that's okay. Yeah, and like I said in the chat room, my diaper count went up, and I notified Shane and frickin' Phil, and I don't get any good job, attaboy, nothing.
Holy
Sorry,
shit.
I'm changing it next time.
Well, it's because we're looking for your man card since you lost it last week. They're playing catch with Anthony Miller.
This week, Javon Wims was throwing, and I had my phone out, and so I was going to try to record myself catching it this time. I go, one hand, Javon, and he throws it over, and I caught it, and then I chucked it back to him with one hand with my video, but the video wasn't that great, or I would have put it up, but I kind of redeemed myself, but Miller wasn't watching, so doesn't count.
Well, what can you report from today's game? You were there for the final preseason game. What was the mood at the stadium? Was there anything in particular that caught your eye and you'd like to share with our followers?
Well, just as a fan in the stands that loves to give people advice, I just got to say, anybody that was at Bears 100 and gets upset at not being able to get the kind of access they wanted, or a different training camp, you don't get to meet a player, go to the 4th preseason game. You pay $10 for a ticket, and you get to see a whole game. Granted, you're not seeing the starters, but if you get in there early and you go down, man, this kid next to me had a helmet, and he had a signature from every single player. So I just want to start off by saying that, because it always surprises me. No one wants to go to the game, but everybody wants to get close to these players. That's the game to do it. If you're listening, cheap way to have a great time, make sure you do it. But as far as what was on the field, I mean, it was Eddie Pinheiro, and that was it. I wasn't expecting him to miss his first a point after attempt, and I didn't have my video out for it. And he misses it. Yeah, another missed ball.
There you go.
So Eddie Pinheiro misses up the school line. And again. Don't for an testing your feet.
Wake up lonely. In the bedroom, all around. Touch me now. My eyes dream away. It must have been but it's over now. It must have been good, but I lost it somehow.
Oh my god.
Don't focus. He makes
He's still going.
I think that as long as the music goes, I don't know. Guys, honestly, you guys can all hang up, and I could just talk and talk. I'll know what to
Oh my gosh. I wish we were doing video. That was priceless.
Put him on mute for a second.
On our Skype video, you could see Greg continuing to talk during the playing of that song. And he's just going on and on and on.
Oh my god, it was
Phil had tears coming down his face.
I was laughing so hard. I was crying. I fucking love this guy.
What is that song? It must have been love, but it's over now. I didn't, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
You hit a couple notes
That's
there.
exactly what it was.
Was
Look
it?
who's gonna get a song. Shane.
Braggs can hit those high notes.
Thank you.
I'm definitely pulling that audio.
Oh my god, that was awesome.
So on to Green Bay. There was a couple Packer fans there I had to harass, but other than that,
We saw that one guy, Packer fan that you interviewed, and he was actually very sensible and very complimentary to the Chicago Bears.
that guy. The culture is changing. When you hear that from him, it was just kind of wild. I don't think I've ever.
Don't you think that
He
that's?
was a little intimidated.
Don't you think if you gave a truth serum to most Packer fans, that they would be like that? They're scared and.
He was, he wasn't scared. A few people were saying, "Oh, he's worried he's gonna get knocked out." Not at all. They had the whole crew with him. If he would have got mad at me for the camera being his face, I'd have turned it off immediately. But it was just amazing. Yeah, I absolutely think with all the Packer fans getting real testy all offseason, they're getting their last troll tweets out before the season starts.
Oh yeah.
And you see the defensiveness, and you feel it that they're scared. And talking to someone that's a little more level-headed and was giving all the love to the Bears, and I was trying to bait him into saying anything. He just continued to throw the roses at the Bears' feet, and I don't think I've ever seen that with a Packer fan. So, because they've always been, whether they're rude to us or not, they know they have had the upper hand on us. They're, our whole life, and now here we are, and this guy's basically laying the sword down. It was a good thing to hear, that's for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, the Packer fan base is really one of the more interesting ones because they are so delusional. They've had success, and so they've got that foundation of success, those first two Super Bowls, and so there's this sense of entitlement, and for some goddamn stupid fucking reason, the NFL named the championship trophy after Vince Lombardi. I mean, that has to be the stupidest decision ever made by the NFL. To name it after a coach who had some success, and not name it after George Halas, or just not, or give it, a name that is more neutral as opposed to associate it with one team. That's just fucking stupid. But it's infected.
I totally agree.
It's infected the Packer fans into thinking that they fucking deserve success, But every once in a while you find a sensible Packer fan who is dealing with reality, and Greg found one today.
Wow. Did you guys see the Hard Knocks when Gruden was talking to LaFleur about the field conditions in Winnipeg?
Yeah. I missed that. I haven't seen it yet.
Gruden walked up to him and he's like, "Well, what? You guys don't want to play on this or what? What's going on?" LaFleur looked like he didn't want to play, and then when Gruden said that to him, he looked like he wanted to shit his pants. Exactly. And then he totally changed. He's like, "Oh no, I just told him I'm ready to play no matter what." And you could just tell that he was full of shit.
Well, because he was planning on playing his starters that game, so probably that's what was running through his head.
Yeah, but I said that's you're a fucking head coach. You can't give a shit what if you have a thought process, you can't let fucking John Gruden say something to you and have him change your thought process. Yep. I mean that to me says a ton about the head coaching prospects of him.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen in Green Bay this season, I'd like to hear Zim's thoughts on this. I think what's going to happen in Green Bay this season is a 5-6 win season, that there will be such monumental disgust from the Packer fans towards the organization that we might see some mass firings at the very top of the organization. And those idiot fans who bought those shares that don't mean anything, they'll be cashing that in for nothing. Zim, what do you think about the Packers' prospects this year?
They're very, what's the word I'm looking for? The Lions will be better than them. That's ultimately where I'm at with them. They are, I don't remember who on the network said it, but LaFleur is going to be their trustman. That defense is going to go downhill. The offense is going to, might have a few good games here or there, but ultimately it's just going to be middle of the road like it has been for a while now that Packer fans want to ignore. And I mean, I don't see what they've done to improve. They're patching holes with overpriced free agents. They're drafting like shit. As a Green Bay fan, I'd be pissed right now because there's literally nothing to look forward to from that organization right now.
Well, and I will say this, that some of the players that they've drafted, even this year's draft, but I'm referring to some of the guys that in the last 2 or 3 years, I thought were going to be good players. I'm shocked that Josh Jones, the safety, is not on their roster anymore. I mean, we talked about him here at Bears Barroom when that draft came up. He was high on our list. And maybe just the organization wasn't a good fit, or maybe there's stuff about the guy that we don't know in terms of his attitude and stuff. And there were a few other guys that they drafted that I was kind of shocked that
they let go of Mike Daniels.
Mike Daniels?
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, this guy was an effing stud 2 seasons
your best
ago.
player on defense, in my opinion.
Rollins got out of there and started to look like what they thought he was going to be.
Quentin Rollins, indeed. So I do think that what's going on with this Packer organization is that there is just chaos at the very top. You had last season, you had the coach and the general manager reporting directly to the chairman. And it's like, what organization does that, and why? Why would you do that? You're just separating, the organization. You're creating silos. And so I think that the problem exists at the top. I think they've made some player personnel decisions that have backfired. And so I see a franchise that is snake bit and is just scheduled now to have several years of being down in the pits, and maybe even longer than several years if they don't hit on some of these draft picks.
Totally
I'm just one of those people that it's like.
Decisions that have backfired.
That was me. Sorry.
That's all right.
No, it just
hit the wrong button.
I love that
it
voice.
just scares me. That ghost of Aaron Rodgers. He scares me. Until
Why?
he's off this team, just because he's scarred me so much.
He hasn't
And
been
last
shipped
year
for
was-
3 years.
I know, but it's just one of those things, and maybe it's just because it's everything feels like it's riding on this first game, and I want them to kill Green Bay so those bad vibes continue with the coach and the player, but things are decided by wins and losses, and they could get lucky and win some games, and all of a sudden you're going to hear bullshit rhetoric like, "Oh, they are getting along," you know what I mean? And so it's just I got to see them beat the crap out of Green Bay week 1. So I can get on board with it. It's just until I see number 12 not on that sideline, there's a lot of fans real confident, and I want to be. It's just I've just been scarred too many times as a fan. I got to see it.
Now, I want to say this. I am a huge fan of Aaron Rodgers in terms of, his footwork and his arm strength. And there's just so many aspects of him as a quarterback that I just, I'm in awe of. This guy is a Jedi Knight when it comes down to quarterbacking. As a leader, he fucking sucks. He's Jabba the Hutt when it comes to leadership. But the thing is that a lot of his success in the past when he's fucked with the Bears was because he was surrounded by personnel that he was very familiar with. I think the loss of Jordy Nelson and now even Randall Cobb, although he didn't play as well in the last 2 seasons as he's had in the past, I think that losing players that he was familiar with has hurt his play, and the fact that he's got offensive linemen now that he can't really count on. So he's not the quarterback that used to kill the Bears 2-3 years ago and before that. I think that he's come back down to earth. He's lost some of those Jedi Knight abilities. So I'm not as fearful of Aaron Rodgers as I used to be.
I think you can cut the head off that snake next Thursday night.
Yeah.
If you go out there and kick the shit out of him.
That's
I'm
a
serious.
great
Like
point.
I said,
That's what I need to see. I mean, they got to beat the crap out of them.
If you're up by 20, I just push the gas pedal down harder.
Just
and you go.
Remember,
you can.
Brett, I'm sorry for interrupting, but remember Brett Favre and what happened his last few games against the Bears? We killed him. We killed him.
It's in your head.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that can happen again with Rodgers. That the tables are changing, turning, whatever the fuck it is.
And when the Bears win next week, I mean, watch how quickly this narrative is going to turn over. All of a sudden, the national media is going to have a lot more believers in the Bears, and they're all going to see what we're seeing in Green Bay because we've been paying attention for the last few years. They pay attention to what's in front of them for next week, and that's why we get these lazy, stupid narratives.
Here's the ringy ring ring.
Yeah, Joe, you didn't say that, did you, Joe? Didn't Peter King pick Green Bay?
Strip
Peter King picked Green Bay to win the division.
In the Super Bowl, I think. To
Super
go to the
Bowl?
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I thought I saw that too.
Someone's quote was, "They got the best defense in the NFC North."
Yeah.
And they're getting paid.
Jason Wilde was on ESPN 1000 today saying they're going to go 10-6 and fight for the division.
Yeah, and there was somebody was on with Cap, the Rob Demovsky.
ESPN guy.
Yeah, he said that they're on the brink of implosion.
Right.
And he said he's picking Chicago to boat race them Thursday night.
I'm picking the Bears to win big too. I said 34-13 or 35-13, but we'll talk about that. I don't want to ruin.
I think that's what the Packer fans said. I'd have to go back and watch the one that I interviewed at SoundCloud. I think
he said 35-14. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. So there you go. That's pretty close. That's what I need to see because everything rides on this first game for momentum and how the season's going to lay out, and obviously narratives. And if they lose, you're going to have a lot. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I get so nervous about like jinxing, and I know all that stuff sounds silly, but so many fans are talking so much crap, and sometimes you never know in football. It's not always the best team wins. Sometimes it's bullshit and the lucky team wins. So, and then they can say whatever they want when the game's over. So I need to see it so badly. Law of averages always keep games close, but I just need to see a 40-point blowout so badly. I just can't guarantee it. It's scary. It's too scary for me as a fan to be jumping out there and saying we're going to win by 30 when I haven't even seen them play one quarter of first-team offense.
So at least you'll have the Bears Barroom Radio Network,
right,
to break it all down right after the game.
So
at 3 a.m.
What I was going to say is that we know at least one half of Shy fans in the stands is a pussy.
Oh.
Yes, I am. I'm scared. If you would have seen my throw to Anthony Miller, there would be no doubt in your mind.
I posted the video of it, Braggs.
That was a very apt depiction of. The whole Indy trip was a disappointment.
Hey, I have the utmost confidence that the Bears are going to win, but it just depends on how big of a score, So I want to ask this question to Phil, and then maybe we'll go around the horn. Coin flip. The Bears win the coin flip. What are you going to do? You want to send the offense out there and make a statement, or are you going to send the defense out there and force a 3 and out? What are you going to do, Phil?
I always will send the defense out first.
I agree.
It's always, especially at home.
Especially this defense.
Oh, and this defense is a layup. But even if we had Barry Minter's defense, I'm sending the because that's setting the tone. This is our house. How do you do? And that's how I coach. That's how I think Nagy will coach, even though he's an offensive guy, and that's what makes him special. And a lot of the narratives will die because of this. But
that puts. You have to look at it not from the Bears' perspective so much. That puts all of the pressure on 12.
Exactly.
Right from the jump. You're in the new offense. You're under a new head coach. Everything. So now here you are.
He's walking around with his dick-ass mustache.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Like,
to me,
what is this game?
That's something that you're doing, going into your... Maybe coming off your bye week if you're playing well and your team is loose. We're in week 2 and week 3 and week 4 of the preseason and Green Bay. It's almost like they're doing it to cover up shit and say, look how much fucking fun we're at. You know what I mean? It's just, it's very strange to me. Mitch wore the Christmas sweater, that was fun and cute and whatever. But Bears are playing here. We're in preseason and they're doing this.
Yeah.
Very strange to me.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Exactly, Trey.
Before I ask Greg and Zim the same question, let me make the case for the opposite opinion. Why not send Mitch and the offense out there with your scripted 10-15 play script and go out there and just fucking ram it down their throats, get 7 on the board, and then send out your defense to get the 3 and out, get a short field, and all of a sudden you're up 10-0 or 14-0. Why not showcase this offense that nobody has seen in preseason, get all your guys out there, have that confidence that they're going to go out there and get the job done and just start this fucking season with a bang. Zim, what do you think?
Well, what's going to get you more fired up, a touchdown or a turnover? I mean, look at the way this team operates. If they get a turnover, if they get a max strip sack, if they get an Ejax pick 6, when you send your defense out there, that's going to fire this team up tenfold more than a touchdown, a 10-play, 12-play drive. I think you send the defense out there because, in my opinion, you're just as likely to score as if you put your offense out there.
Fuck you, Zim. Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Phil on this one. I almost always want to kick first because I like receiving to start the second half. Just depending on how first half ends, sometimes that's an opportunity to double down at a more crucial point in the game than the first the first part of the game. When you score early on, that's great, but team has a long time to respond. And if you get back-to-back scores at the end of the first half, start the second half, sometimes that's a real body blow. So I'm the type that likes to kick it to start. And beyond that, the defense is what is going to lead. As great as we think as Mitchell and the offense can be this year, the defense leads this team. So you send Khalil Mack, your leader, out there to set the tone on the season, and you hope that they 3-and-out them because they are such a great defense, and the place is going to be going crazy, and maybe they get a pick six. I mean, that would be just the most ballistic scene you'll see ever at Soldier Field, maybe. But if a 3-and-out is what you want, if I'm the Packers, just looking at it as a total nervous Nelly with this game, I'm thinking on that first series, I'm going no huddle to start out because I don't want them gearing back, and I'm hoping the Bears are ready. I should have mentioned that to Pagano when I was talking to him today, but that's the kind of stuff I'm worried about. I need a 3-and-out, and then they can get the score on a short field to start the game. But, yeah, I'm kicking it to start.
You guys have all made great points. Go ahead, Shane.
Do you remember week 1 last year?
Name dropper.
Yes, I remember week 1. I remember Trubisky getting 7.
We got the ball first, and we drove down and punched it in.
Right.
Yep.
And we lost that game.
Went up. Yeah.
we went up big.
But why did we lose that game? Because it
I think your head coach throttled back.
I mean, that's a good point.
Dropped interception. I mean, the interception was the. I mean, that was the end right there.
We lost because Vic Fangio likes to play cover 3 on third down.
Ooh, yeah, fucking.
Yeah,
Vic Fangio.
there's coaching errors.
There was a lot of coaching.
And just because sports. I mean, sometimes it's the unexplainable. They had 32 things go their way, and if one of those things didn't go their way, they don't win that game. That's how many things they needed just to win, and that's how the NFL is week to week. You see games like this, and that's why I caution everybody that's talking about blowouts. I like a blowout as much as anybody else, but they come few and far between in this league. Most games are decided by 3 points or less. That's why the spread is what it is every week with every game. Yeah, so it's just that's what I'm nervous about,
There was a point in the game where
nervous.
There was a point where it was second and 2, and I think it became a 3rd and 1, and I believe Nagy passed on the 2nd and 2 and 3rd and 1.
Pass play to Deion Sims.
Yeah, and it was just like, what are you? I get the aggressiveness and stuff like that, but yeah, thanks.
That's why they just need to finish what they started week 1 last year and prove to them, really prove. They won the division. That's great, but I want to see it really.
I want to say something to Aldo's point because it's a good point of reference. Aldo made the point of the offense going on. How they.
Sandlin rolling down the stairs.
Holy skate.
Chris Sandlin, all the way from Indiana, has joined us. The guy's representing. He's wearing a Chicago Bears jersey. He's looking like he's ready to fucking go into a biker bar and say, "Who wants to fuck with me right now?" That's what he looks like. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, you're
I'm always ready.
Your young buck is down in Bloomington right now, right? He should be partying at this hour, huh?
Yeah. Well, he's got classes in the morning, so hopefully he'll wait till tomorrow night.
Because who parties the night before a class, right?
Yeah, he's definitely partying.
You can only.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
Hey, Phil, go ahead and finish your point, and then we'll bring Chris in.
If this offense, Greg and company, including myself, to Aldo's point, to catch everybody up, is performing in practice against the number 1 defense in the league, and they're scrimmaging and going hard, and you really feel confident, they're having a great week of practice, and there's something to the mental makeup of your offense that you want to send a message to them that we fucking got your back. Let's go. You got to get ours, or you guys have done so well. We fucking believe in you. Go down the fucking field and put them in their place of what's going to happen all game. So if you're feeling in that, they need that mental, pat on the back. Then as a coach, you say, fuck, I don't, fuck the advantage of getting in the second. I want my fucking offense to know I believe in them. And that can motivate a fucking team beyond. So it's all about how if they've been practicing like shit, you're fucking going with the defense. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's strategy also comes into play, when, mentally you recognize you're prepared.
I want to get Chris's thoughts on this. Chris, what do you think? I mean, I'm in a minority. I've been in a minority my entire life. I'm the only fucking Puerto Rican kid in an all-white school, the only fucking Puerto Rican kid in an all-white family, married to a white family. I show up and everybody stops talking when I enter the house of my in-laws. Is it the same thing here, Chris? Am I off?
Surprise, motherfucker!
Am I off base here in terms of wanting the Trubisky offense out there on the field first to score? What do you say?
Chicago's a defensive town.
Oh my God, jeez.
I grew up watching them in the '80s too. It was defense. Most of my jerseys are defense. But.
Oh, wait a minute! Breaking news!
I think I would like to see them come out and score right off the bat.
There you go.
I as much of it as and I even still talk to people about this, that it's defense, it's a defensive team, but I want it to turn into an offensive team also. So I think now is the time. I thought it was going to happen last year, even though it might have happened slow, and it did. We had some good games, we had some not so good games. Obviously, most of us were at that Tampa Bay game. We all remember that.
Yes.
But I would love to see something like that go in that first half Thursday night.
I like the way you think, Chris Anlin. I love the way you think.
And hopefully I get to see some of you guys next Thursday. I don't have tickets to the game, but we will be in Chicago at Grant Park all day long.
Nice.
You're gonna see me. I'll tell you that.
We're gonna work this out. We gotta work this out. Hey, there is some breaking news here because on the Skype camera here, I can. I see Steven Zimmerman's girlfriend. Now she's walking away, but we definitely
we had her.
We got a glimpse of her, and I gotta say, muy caliente. Very hot. Very hot.
Yeah, she's not into 60-year-old Puerto Ricans. Sorry.
Well, then she is missing out on the best fuck of her life.
Just said.
She amended it to ask how much money you have, and it's not enough.
Tell her. I'll tell her myself. I got her phone number here. No, but she's a very pretty girl, and all respect to her. And I hope that you guys have a very, very happy life together.
He's a fucking idiot.
That's my mom talking about me again. Hey, Chris, I really, Sandlin, I really love your approach to this game. It's always going to be a defensive team, but this offense, could approach what the defense is known for. I really do believe it. I think that there's a very good possibility that Mitch Trubisky could approach that upper tier 2 quarterbacks and start to flirt with being a tier 1 quarterback this season. And so why not showcase it? Why not get it out there on the very first game of the 100th anniversary? Let's roll the dice. Let's send the offense out there and let's fucking score. And then when we get the ball back 3-4 plays later, let's score again.
One of the things I'm looking at with that was if we get the ball first and score first thing, and if we can put points up in that first half, we got our defense stepping out first thing in the third quarter, which right then and there we can put our foots on their fucking throats.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start the second half after we've scored 3 touchdowns and it's 21-3 at the half, and let's put our foot on their throats and knock them dead in the second half, unlike what happened last year.
Yeah, I like that thinking. I'm looking at Shane and Phil now. Besides looking very, very tired and they want to go to bed, I do think that maybe they're coming over our way. Chris, what do you say, guys? Shane, for you first.
I'm still putting my defense out there.
Fuck you too. Phil, what do you say?
I'm a huge motherfucking barfly.
I love that drop. Phil, any way we can change your mind into getting the offense out there first?
No, like I gave you the two sides. It would depend on the practice, but in this game, I just think you're going to put the number 2 or number 1 rated player in the NFL out on the field and set the tone. And I think Mitch understands that in this moment, as well as the offense. Their defense is the best in the league, and I think they want to go out there and prove it. You want to catch fire early, and I think that kind of consistency that you get, especially with the fucking it's all. Do we know how huge this is? I mean, it's the 100th year, the Packers Bears prime time to kick off the fucking season at Soldier Field. It's a fucking event. Fucking Jay Cutler's coming into town.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I heard that.
That's how big this shit is.
But do you think that Nagy's pride in being an offensive-minded coach, if he has the choice, do you think he's going to put the offense or defense out first?
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
I know, but I
put the defense out though.
He's gonna put
that was last year. That was last year.
You kick it to start. You kick it to start, and you get a 3 and out, and then you score right away, and then you get the ball to start the second half, and it's like you basically had the ball to start both halves. So that's what we're doing because I said so. I told Pagano he's got to send the house, and I reminded him of that today, and he goes, "Well, what should we call the play?" And I was like, "Oh," and I of course, I went to just myself, and I was like, "The Bragg Special." And he looked at me, and he laughed, and he goes, "You're crazy."
Unequivocally, no.
Hey.
Greg got his diaper count up, and now he thinks he knows football.
Hey, and this one was worth 10 diapers. Let me tell you, it was like a nuclear bomb in this freaking diaper.
Ooh, really?
It was the worst. Then she freaking is rolling over because she won't sit still because I'm like freaking out trying to just put it in the disposal thing. Then I'm trying to get the wipes, and she's starting to move on me. And so then I'm like holding her in the air. Oh, it was the worst. It was the worst. It is the worst.
All that needs to be said about the post game, Lawrence Holmes and Lance Briggs aren't on it, so it's going to be fucking.
So true. All right, listen, guys, we can go all night here, but there are some people that have to work, and I'm looking at one of them right now, Shane Marsaw. You're looking really tired, brother, so I'm going to start with shout-outs with you in case you want to just fall asleep for the rest of them. Go ahead.
I have no shout-outs, but to every Bears fan on planet Earth, hey, this is what we've all been waiting for. Nothing else even needs to be said. This is what we've been waiting for years, since the 2005 season, where you had the positive vibes that you were gonna, go and you were gonna make a dent in this. And it's you talk about our time, it's now, and it's Thursday. It's here. No more bullshit, no more backups. The real guys are going to be out there. Matt Nagy, this is your ship. Fucking drive it. You need to put that shit in the direction of Miami. And we all need to meet down there in February because, this isn't about when you have to win your division to get there, yes, but there's one goal for this team, and that's hoisting the fucking Lombardi trophy. That's what else can be said.
There you go. Very well said, Shane. And so if you want to duck out of here and get some sleep before you wake up in 90 minutes, feel free to.
And Phil's still giving his shout outs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what?
And mine too, don't forget.
Fuck the phone. Put some music behind Shane's speech.
There you go.
Really? Yeah, I hear you.
There's no music left. Greg sucked it all up while he was talking.
All
Must have
right.
been love.
Steven Zim
That was
Zimmerman,
awful.
give us some shout outs.
Okay. Like now or?
Yes.
No.
like-
Oh my God. Someone smack this kid.
All right, no, shout out to all you guys.
Come on, you can
Shout
do
out to all
better
you
than
guys.
that,
Sam, man,
Zim.
you got great taste in music. I love it.
Thank you.
Rags, the real shy fan in the stand. I don't know where Two Scoops is, man. You had a free ticket and he's out in Vegas partying, so.
I don't know. I'd rather be in Vegas right now on this fucking show.
Yeah, he's a smart one.
Phil's the best fucking tape breakdowns on YouTube, period.
Oh, thank you, man.
Absolutely. Shane, looking like Santa Claus over there just in time because it feels like Christmas, man, next week.
Yeah, it means so. That's a real dig coming from a dude with fucking green hair.
Hey, it's not green anymore.
I love this rivalry.
Santa and the Grinch.
You'll get there someday, Zimmerman, when you get all grown up.
Santa and the Grinch.
I'll never
Hey,
be grown up, man. I'm doomed to a life like Phil, man.
Sure. What is that?
Mr. Sandlin, give us some shout outs.
I want to shout out all of the Bears players that played in the preseason, especially tonight's game.
Yeah.
You know, they're out there fighting, trying to get those last roster spots that aren't decided yet, practice squad, whatnot. So it was actually an enjoyable fourth preseason game. So I'm glad to see a lot of them still out there fighting.
Excellent. Mr. Greg Braggs, give us some shout outs.
Junior.
Well, I'm going to shout out my man Joey Two Scoops, Joe Mandel, my co-host, Shy Fans in the Stands. He's out in Vegas right now as we speak, partying up. I think he just went and saw Def Leppard, living it up on his bachelor party, getting ready to do the big wedding dance here in a few months. So I'm going to save my one and only shout out, keep it short for everyone tonight, to my man Joe. Hope you're having fun out there. Look forward to talking to you about it on Tuesday.
Wow, man. I can't believe that you kept it that short. That's pretty amazing for you.
You want me to do some more? I got some more.
That's all right.
I'm going to do the after special where I talk for 5 hours just to myself.
All right, I just called Joe up. Let's see what he's got to say. Joe, are you there? Joe.
Ring a ding ding.
Joe, where are you? Wait a minute. I hear him. I think he's got a girl in his room. Oh, it's bachelor party time. I'm sorry,
It sounds
Joe.
like Zimmerman's got something doing with Rainbow Dash.
I'm too young for this.
Sorry to interrupt you, Joe. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled program here. All right.
I told Joe before he left, don't bring anything back from Vegas.
I think it's too late.
Doesn't sound like he's doing a good job.
All right, Greg is done with his shout-outs. Let's go over to Draft Dr. Phil.
Well, I wanted to shout out Greg, Zimmerman, and Chris Sandlin, and they're all on the show.
Yeah, funny how that worked out.
They all have been impressing me lately with their Bears barroom performances and shout-outs. Even fucking Sandlin's in a promo, and Sandlin's gonna be in the new show intro.
Nice.
Last call on the Bears. I tried to fit every person that really is amazing Barfly or whatever, their voice in this song for the new show. So Chris, shout out you. Zim, you've been stepping up your game. I know you don't like when we get personal and loving on this show. Which basically is what the show's about. So, little football mixed in.
Just a little.
Been stepping up. And then I wanted to shout out Jorge Arellano. These are some of the YouTube people that have just really made me blush like Zimmerman. I appreciate the love for my tape breakdowns. Windy City _shy. D Programmer, the Ghost of Judah Tribe. Every week he's waiting for these. Michael Doran, only at Bears Barroom. Appreciate you guys and your promotion for what we're doing with the tape Never Lies and Bears Barroom. I'm gonna shout out Jimmy Larison, Pablo Jax. I can't wait to see these guys when I go up to Chicago to see this fucking historic thing. I'm so lucky. I'm a lucky guy. And Bears Barroom is the greeting point, the middle ground that has launched some of these great friendships. So that's my shout outs this week. I'm looking forward to seeing you too, Sandlin and Gandiva.
I'll be there, brother. Pick you up. Some shout outs to Danny Shimon and Ryan Badgley on the debut of Draft on Tap. They did a really nice job. My gosh.
Shimon stepping up in the pocket.
Jeez, can you tell me about it? And their guest, Jordan Reed, I want to give him a shout out too. He said some very nice things about me. I didn't deserve any of it, but hey, I'll take it. Thank you, Jordan. And I want to thank Lauren Cox for being the guest on, what show was he on? Lauren was on...
All set a Rooney.
He was on the phone, right?
He was on the phone, 55. And Alyssa Barbieri, the producer, moderator, shout out to her, and for John getting back on the saddle again and doing his show. Shout out to all of them. They did a great job. We had a great week of programming on the show. Mike North was here at my home studio, and my gosh, was he on fucking fire. I mean, he actually...
But I was smoking fucking reefer.
Well, I was. I don't know about Mike North. And Mike actually let out the F word, which is something, he takes pride in his, being FCC compliant. And so for him to let out the F word just underscored how fired up he was. And he's back on the winning trail after having a bad week. He's been making some great picks and making some money for anyone who's taking his advice.
No wonder he won't come on 100 proof. Yeah. Let's keep it clean.
Exactly. ESPN has told him, because he's got that gig with ESPN, they told him, be careful about who you talk to. And so I think Shane and Phil are on the boycott list. I want to shout out the Sandlins. Hey, Chris, is your wife coming to Chicago with you next week?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
He's on mute.
He's on mute. He's talking. We don't hear anything.
But she is coming. I could tell you that.
Yes.
So there's no dead air, and Dan Aguirre doesn't get upset if there's any.
He's all tensed up.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep, we're both going to be there.
Excellent. I'm hoping to see you both. I just want to shout out you and your wife. I mean, what great supporters of Bears Barroom for such a long time. And, I look at the Sandlin couple, and my goodness, they are like the perfect couple. Every time I see a picture, they're wearing costumes. They're at a sock hop. They're at a Halloween costume party. They're doing all sorts of fun things. It's like my wife and I, we hardly talk to one another. We love each other, but we hardly talk to them. These guys always seem like they're joined at the hip. So shout out to you and your lovely wife and that beautiful relationship that you have. Maybe Zim will follow in your footsteps someday.
No, I had that shit from her. I don't want to dress up in costumes and stuff.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ, Aldo.
I had more shout-outs, but I think I've worn out my welcome here. This is Bears 100 Proof.
Zim, I can't understand why you're never on any shows.
It's almost like I've got nothing interesting to say.
That is not true. We are having a blast here. I am going to pull the plug on the show, and if anybody wants to stay for the after show, you're more than welcome to. But I will close the show as I always do, which is to tell people, if you drink, please do not drive, and always bear down! Boom!
With your partner round and round when Phil comes to fucking town.
Oh, dude.
What is it? This square dancing shit? What is all that about? I didn't get it last week.
We're writing a fucking song.
Dan,
trying to bring hip hop and now square dancing together.
Okay.
Trying to do it, but I need to use Dan's voice. So I just asked Dan, do you do square dance?
Do you square dance?
He took such offense.
Oh, did he?
Good.
I was talking shit about West Virginia and making a thing. But I was wanting to use his voice. Could he do it? And then Shane jumps in. Yeah, could you do square dancing? And I'll let Shane finish.
Well, y'all,
a gentleman.
Yeah, he's. Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
So he's probably gonna get pissed off about talking about it. So
go on. Should I turn it off?
Yeah, I don't want to make him more upset than he was.
Well, it's too late. Now he knows that you're going to be talking about him.
No, Dan doesn't. Dan's not a square dancer. He wanted to make sure that everybody knew that. He wasn't a big fan. He thought we were making fun that he lived in West Virginia. And honestly, that never even crossed my fucking mind. Phil and I were talking about a song, and then I looked down at my phone and Phil's like, well, Dan, do you square dance? Because we just have these random conversations with Dan. Like I was at work one day.
He's like, how do you take your steak?
I called Phil and I'm like, how do you think Dan orders a steak? That was like the first. And Phil's like, what? And I'm like, I have this weird feeling like you gotta fucking order that shit well done. And I'm like, well, if you
he
do
doesn't
that,
like
we can't
chicken.
be friends.
He doesn't like chicken. Yes, these random texts that are just.
So Phil and I were like taking bets with each other. I'm like, how do you think he orders it? And Phil's like, I think he's a medium guy. And I'm like, well, hopefully, medium rare, whatever. And then
Sandlin, your son ain't coming up Thursday, is he?
Oh, Jesus. What's that?
No, he's not coming Thursday.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the definition of a non sequitur.
Wait, are we still alive?
Yes, we're still alive.
Telling the story, and
this is the post game show on YouTube, like they do
Bragg
on
is
HBO.
So fucking out of it, he has no idea.
he just went James. Go
on, Shane. I'm sorry.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Sanders just
supposed to be telling that story anyway. Play my music again. Let me start talking.
Okay, here we go.
In Bragg's defense, that story was fucking boring.
Oh God, that's Zimmer. Now Zimmerman wonders why we never invite him on the
Tweet
fucking.
that out.
Been
Tweet
on
that out.
times
That'll
and
be
he
a
bags the
week.
show every fucking time. That's why his show lasts 7 minutes.
I know exactly why you don't bring me on. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to harass you about it.
Oh, that's good.
What is the
looks
reason?
Looks like I'm not going to see you on here again.
Hey, we better take a picture so we can.
Proof. I still got screen caps from our DMs, Shane. I'm never letting those go. Shane said I was right not once but twice. All right, I'm never letting that shit go.
What were you talking about?
And it must have been
I don't
love.
even fucking remember. It was not football related. I think it was about Shane telling me I'll never be right again.
Could be. Yeah, I can't remember either.
If you don't know me by now. Who sings that? Who sings that, Phil?
Yeah. Tell us, Phil. Come on. Come on, Phil.
I know that song. Too.
No.
Never know me.
You will never know.
Oh, it was about the dude who put us on the hater list, on the Mitch hater list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He said he probably just hates the bar room, and
I thought you were
Shane says,
talking
"Yeah, he's
about-
probably right."
Yeah, well, that was
But Sam,
Probably
Sam,
pretty open-ended, though.
Oh, that's
Yeah, well, I also said,
Sweet
Shane,
work.
I'm right. Shane said I'm right. This may never happen again. And Shane says, very likely right 2 times in a row. I told you I saved that.
Skin guard. The shave sensitive skin's been.
all right. I am going to hit the stop button, and we are
I was
now
trying to give
officially off the air.